Right, Pride of London. London is blue, let's have it right. Up the Chels, up the Minerals FC, let's go. Go on, Jake. Have it right, Minerals FC. Kepa, you got the Minerals, yeah? Love it. Got the Minerals, TT.
Hey, Johnny's got the fucking Minerals, mate.
So have it right, up the Chels, up the Minerals FC. Hope everyone is doing good tonight. Big up to every single one of you in here. First and foremost, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Smash it to pieces right now, guys. Get me to those likes, people. It's very, very important to get the likes. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, guys. Hit your notification buttons as well, so you know exactly when I'm going live and I'm going to land the Minerals. And also, I've got the Minerals FC membership scheme pinned at the top of the live chat. So don't forget, you can be part of the community at Minerals FC as a member. Big up to all my members as well. Big up to everyone in here. Hope everyone's doing good. We're gonna run through the game with Brentford, the 0-0 draw. We're gonna run through all of it today, guys. Everything. So hit the likes. Hit the likes. We'll quickly run through your comments very, very quickly, and then we're just going to go straight into it, guys. And I'm going to get some people on as well, and we're going to land the Minerals, and we're going to discuss certain things. Yeah, so have it right. Big up Leo in here. Francis in here. Henrik, it's time for Havertz to land the Minerals. I back him all the way, but right now it's not looking good. Let's have it right up the Henrik there. Stretters is in here. Up the Minerals FC, still buzzing. Overdoing that Tin Pot Club. Let's have it right. Listen, Spurs just being Spursy, as we all know. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Let them fall off a cliff. And Arsenal sooner or later is falling off a cliff, guys. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. Big up to Mixter in here. I hope you're doing good. You said, I've got a question for you. Is this fake news, or is this shit, or is it true news about Rashford? Probably fake paper news, mate. Brown envelopes, and I wouldn't take Rashford. No chance. No chance for me. Big up Gabriel, up the Chelsea, Johnny. Kai's propaganda keeps building up. This is outrageous. Haters really need to suck a good one. Kai will keep getting better. Let's have it right, Gabriel. We have to back our boy. We have to back our boy. Yeah, it's very, very important. CFC up the Chels. Nutty Blue, big up Minerals FC. Shout out to my daughter Lexi up the Chels. Listen, shout out Lexi up the Chels. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for supporting, and big up to you. Everyone, shout out Lexi in the comments as well. It's land the Minerals, guys. Land the Minerals. Mixed big up Minerals FC. Big up to you, geezer. Our design MM19 and Kai will lead this club to more trophies. back the glue, the two glue gems in our squad. Potter can be the next Alex Ferguson. Come on, we can do it. Need to slap up United on Saturday. I sense a 2-0 win. Listen, this United game now has huge importance, has huge magnitude to it now. You know, this is a must win for Chels. You know, you draw or lose this game, you just keep falling off the top spot. And it's not good, guys. You know what I mean? We have to be positive. Why can't we beat United? But recent seasons will tell you the results ain't been too good, you know. More in favour of United, to be honest. You know, the last one particularly, 1-1 draw. It's always our mistakes against United. And don't forget, we had that Fraud Taylor ref, the last one. He seems to manage all these big games. From what I saw on the timeline, I think there was touting of him reffing the game, and then I was told last night he's not. So hopefully, as long as he stays well clear of Chelsea, I feel that fills me with a little bit more confidence. Yeah. Here's the link to the Minerals FC membership, guys, as well, just so you know. Pinned in the top. Fly says, who here thought Kai was good? And to be honest, don't just suck Johnny off. I mean, listen, if you want to troll and that, fair play to you. You know what I mean? You should be honoured I've put that up. Do you know what I mean? But we back our players here at Minerals FC. We don't fucking slander our players and hate on our players, because that defeats the object of being a supporter. If you want to be a plastic fan, then that's down to you lot. Do you know what I mean? But we don't do that here. So let's have it right. Let's change that tone and that narrative when we're in here. Rashford says, let's have it right up the Minerals FC. Big up to you. He says, I do have the notifications on for you. Big up to you, geezer. Big up to you. Sleeping Buddha, listen, don't give it big un, yeah? All right? Let's not give it the big un, because Kai's been landing the Minerals at a young age, winning these trophies that everyone seems to have short-term memory loss. And, it's in the past now, but you don't erase history, yeah? When it comes to Kai, you just can't do it. It's unerasable, mate. Yeah. So we shush you lot. We shush the haters, the critics, the ones that just want to. I don't know if it's the going rate. It's moved from Mason Mount and Kai to just Kai now. But we'll get into that, guys. We'll get into that. Big up to British Patriot, my member. Let's have it right, Minerals. Lovely to see you in here, geezer. As always, Wheezy, Minerals General. Let's have it right. Hassan says, I don't think he will shush us, Johnny. He does what people call Mount out for. He's not consistent enough. Well, if you're calling Mount for not being consistent, then I don't know what planet you're on. So I disagree with that. I think with Kai is consistency, but at the same time, we haven't been consistent with our lineups. We haven't been consistent as a whole as a team. So you have to put that into context as well when you talk about Kai. You can't just pinpoint one player and say, yeah, he's got to do better. Everyone's got to do better. The whole team's got to do better. Last night's performance was a result, but really we should be beating Brentford. That's the reality of it. These are the games you have to go and win. So when you go and play Man United on Saturday, you can drop points if necessary. Now, it's like you can't afford to drop points against a tougher test. No disrespect to Brentford. It is a tough ground. The ground went last night. It was electric and that, but it's one of those games. And let's have it right. They defended for their lives. They all had cramps. They're all on the floor. All of them. How many times did they break up play? And at the end of the game, they were like this. They couldn't move. So it tells you everything you need to know about how they played, yeah? Chelsea OG, big up my member. Another clean sheet. Really wanted the win, though. Yeah, we were waiting for the last minute limbs, that last minute winner where it just goes mental. It didn't come. It just didn't come. Francis, big up to you. Big up to you. Audrey in here. Let's have it right. Like the video, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Big up to you. Yes, shooters. Lovely to see you in here. Cursors in here as well. Big up to you, geezer. Whatever your name is, I can't even pronounce it, bruv. Ty Drew, whatever. Yeah. It's just like defeats the object, bruv. How can you call Kai Havertz a disgrace, geezer? How? How can you call him a disgrace? He's had you celebrating trophies, mate. Have some respect for the kid, man. He's just turned 23. You know what I mean? Yeah. Listen, like the video, so Mr. Mills, don't get cranky. Let's have it right. You know the deal. I don't like it. If you know, it's like it's a courteous thing. You know, you just like the video. It's just courteous. And I got respect for all you lot. I hope you can respect me and just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That's it. It's not hard, guys. Danos is in here. Big up to you, geezer. King Kai will come good. We'll come back. Let's have it right. Kyla, big up to you. Jaden Sancho, love the shirt, Mr. Minerals. Big up to you, geezer. Chelsea old boy, Havertz is garbage. Fucking hell, bruv. You know, you guys are really listen. What's the message here? What's the message here? We're not on other platforms where we just want to like dig our heels into players. You know what I mean? It's just like, where's that understanding and support? Where's that? It's not just about what happens on the pitch, but you've got to think in the context of what happens off the pitch as well. There are issues, mate. There's clearly some issues there. Big up for Outlaw. I was here before Kai Shushes the haters. Up the Minerals FC, up the Chels, up the M19. Big up to you, geezer. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Listen, Jaden Sancho, you're not wrong, geezer. You know, obviously it's come to the attention that there is a vacancy for Prime Minister. And big up to Leo, bruv. We're going to land the Minerals right now. If you want the Prime Minerals, yeah, as Prime Minister, listen, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Get it in the comments, bruv. Let's have it right. We're going to land the Minerals at 10 Downing Street. I know exactly what we need, what our country needs. We need damn minerals spread out, bruv. That's what we need. Yeah? We need the minerals spread out. We need a dictatorship of Minerals FC. That way we keep everyone in line. No one gets out of line here. Yeah? No one gets out of line, bruv. And we salute the Minerals, bruv. We salute the Minerals FC. Forget Boris and all these lot, bruv. Yeah? We know exactly what to do here on Minerals FC. And we will land it everywhere we go. And big up Stoney as well, yeah? Big up the Stoney, bruv. Come on, guys. Let me know in the comments, bruv. Who do you want for Prime Minister, bruv? Where are the Prime Minerals coming from? Who's going to land these minerals like me? No one out there that can land the minerals like this. Yeah? Nobody out here, bruv. We land it everywhere we go, just like the Chels. Just like the minerals, man. And the silky German, bruv. When it comes to it, we're clutch out here. We are clutch out here. Big up to every single one of you, yeah? That should earn a like and a subscribe straight away. Without hesitation, mate. Without hesitation. Big up to everyone in here. The beautiful game, everyone. Big up to all you guys. Big up to all you guys. Big up, Jem, in here. Just for you, Jem, bruv. We land it, bruv. Every day of the week, mate. Every day of the week. I got all your votes. All your votes are there. I don't doubt it. All you almost 4K subscribers, I got all your votes. And we spread it on Twitter. We got the 12K. We're landing the minerals, bruv. We can go. Petition, guys. Let's sign a petition to get Johnny Minerals as the new Prime Minister. Big up to you guys. Yeah, we could get Tuchel. Listen, we could do a coalition. Johnny Minerals and Tuchel for Prime Minister. That could work, mate. Prime Minerals, Piss Take Central. You know the deal, geezer. Hashtag Prime Minerals. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Mickey's in here. Big up to Miko, Dale, every single one of you. And let's have it right. Johnny for PM, they will change it to 19 Downing Street. Let's have it right. What a cracker. You landing it. 19 Downing Street. Let's go. We're going to move. We're going to do house removals and we're going to move from 10 to 19. And that is what it's going to be. The minerals there. Well done. Well done. We love that. I did like it. Big up to Leo who made that. Fantastic stuff. Really was fantastic. Did make me chuckle. CFC, Johnny Mills, you need to mud Daily and Pies for the agenda they have been pushing on Kai. Well, listen, I don't follow either of them. In fact, I think I blocked Pies in the end and he's blocked me. So I don't know what they said, Geezer. Maybe let me know what they've been putting in the, what they've been saying, what garbage they've been landing or any agenda they've been pushing. Land it in the comments and then I'll read it out or I'll give you my thoughts on it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Loads platforms with large following, you know what I mean? The CFC Piss, Pies and Mash, CFC Daily, you know, it's just like, let's go with a narrative. Let's keep my followers sweet, or let's get the interactions. Let's do the clickbait routine. I'm not for that stuff. No, well, 29 would be the safe house. 29 would be the Silky German safe house minerals, yeah. But 19 Downing Street is the headquarters. That's where all the big decisions get made. The glue happens. The captain minerals, yeah. The real leadership. Let's have it right. We 19 Downing Street. Forget 10. We're 19 Downing Street. We're taking over, guys. We're taking over. And like I say, 29's the safe house geezers, yeah. Big up to all my guys in here. Ladies and gents, big up to you. Big up to all of you. And big up to Lexi as well. Another shout out for Lexi, for Nutty Blue there. Let's just keep running. Big up Deals as well. Big up Johnny Geese with to slap them Glazer FC lot come Saturday. We do indeed, mate. Let's see what you guys. All right, let's have a look. He was putting failed comps on Twitter of Kai. Pi said it was in the top 3 worst performances of a Chelsea player of all time. Worst performance in a Chelsea shirt. Worse than Bakayoko v Watford. No, it wasn't. It absolutely was not. In fact, BBC rated him man of the match. If you went to the BBC ratings, he was man of the match. So that's bangers and mash waffle, mate. It's tosspots like that who push out failed comps, which is disgraceful because what you're doing is you're acting like a rival fan, trolling your own player, mudding and disrespecting your own player for the rivals, which is an embarrassment to Chelsea fans. I find that embarrassing and I don't really take too kindly for it. So, as always, Pies and Mash, you absolute CFC piss. Yeah. Very, very sad, mate. Grow up, mate. Grow up. Fucking hell. No one backs their players. Apart from the proper Chels. And myself. I stand by myself backing the players. And that's what we've got to do. I'd wipe them both out, bruv. We wouldn't have Tories of Labour. It'd just be Minerals FC. Everyone gets wiped out. Yeah. And no one's going to deal with me. You know, NATO, forget it, bruv. Putin, all them lot, no chance, mate. They ain't got the minerals to deal with me. And like I say, I'll have Minerals Mount as my defence secretary. Yeah. Bionic man, absolutely solid, bruv. He'll land the minerals everywhere we go and for our country. Do you know what I mean? Just like he changed the game for England and, you know, we against Germany. Let's have it right. Right. Yeah. Stevie Gerrard, I thought he was sacked. But he's not. So, guys, big up to all you guys. There's over 100 people in here. Hit the like button. Right. So, the game yet last night. I think if it wasn't for Kepa, Kepa made 2 fantastic saves, kept us in the game. Brentford got into very good positions where they could have hurt us. And credit to Trev, pocketed Ivan Toney, absolutely pocketed him. I didn't think he put a foot wrong, Trev. He was outstanding. For me personally, I think Trev was my man of the match. I think it was given to Kepa, and he can, rightly so, could get it. But for me personally, I thought Trev was a rock at the back with no Thiago Silva. You got to take that into consideration. I thought Koulibaly, he got him out of trouble there. Trev got Koulibaly out of trouble. And as we know, Trev's got the minerals, and we still haven't lost a game under Trev. So as far as I'm concerned, keep playing Trev. No debate about that whatsoever. It's debatable about Cucurella. I felt Chilwell would have been better for this game last night. Definitely going forward. I thought he was better. I think he would have been better. I think he's got the end product and a better link up. But with Cucurella, he's progressive, he's defensively very sound. And I think that was the narrative for Potter to pick him. You look at Gallagher, went off sick. It's not an injury. I thought it was an injury, but it's not. He went off sick, so fair play. He's back, and he's back in the middle of the park. But I wasn't too confident the way we started. Jorginho, okay. It's too slow. Cover then came on, tried to add a bit of intensity, a bit of a speed of play. Just, they work well with each other, but like I say, you can have all the ball, but it's what you do with the ball and how quickly you do it. And it was too slow. Everything was too slow. And where we didn't take advantage, why we didn't beat them, because I think if we match Brentford with what I'm going to say now, I think we go and catch them out, and we get that 1-0 goal. Yeah. And it's as simple as this. When Brentford are in the attacking phase and they lose the ball, their transition to the defensive phase was far quicker. And it was quicker even in the attacking phase. That was the difference between Brentford and between Chelsea. And also what Brentford did, they congested the middle of the park. It was very difficult for Chelsea to play down the middle and get in the pockets to then spread it out wide and cut in. Couldn't do it. We were always forced out wide. Loftus-Cheek, Cucurella. And it was too slow. Too many touches. And we've seen when Potter first started taking over, the quick transitions, the quick passing. I didn't see that in this game. I didn't see it enough. I only saw it with our defence passing it around them. But we were playing against a low block. So every time we were attacking them, it was a low block. The very few chances we got where we got into space was when Broja had that chance turn. And then I saw a clip and Mason Mount was there and all he had to do was square it. Just one square ball and Mason Mount's got a shot on at the goalie. No one around him. That was a big moment for me. And that was in the first half, if I'm correct. So it's fine margins. I thought Broja did very well. I think he tried too hard. He's got no run up. It's his first debut. So I'm not taking anything away from him. But I think he needs that run of consistency of games before he will make the right decisions. It will come naturally. But I felt he tried a little bit too hard. Similar to when Gallagher got his first start under Tuchel. Tried too hard, guys. Tried too hard. And that takes you off your game. Loftus-Cheek did all right. But again, too many touches. Too slow in the distribution. And what does these things do? It kills Mason Mount. But the one thing that killed Mason Mount in this game and why he couldn't get in the game is because of the transitions being too slow. But Brentford had a game plan to zonal mark Mount. And that's exactly what they did. They had 2 players around him. They congested the middle. Every time he was trying to get into pockets, he was always surrounded. So anytime he got the ball, it was very difficult for him to either turn or make get an assist and create a chance. And when you do that and you nullify Mason Mount like that, and the gaffer doesn't do anything to tweak it, it takes away all your creativity. As we know, Mason Mount's been the source of goals and assists in the last 4 games. 3 games. bagging like 5 GA. So that wasn't apparent in this game, and that's why we suffered. That's why we didn't have the cutting edge. That's why the creativity wasn't there. Sharpness wasn't there for me from the team. Lethargic. Potter made too many changes in this lineup. And I think he needs to be wary, the gaffer. The more changes you make, the more likelihood your team that you set up not going to be able to connect with each other. How are you going to build chemistry? There was a lot of moments in the game where you felt like there's a ball to be played, but it's like you don't know if the player's there. On the right side with Loftus-Cheek, you have to be very cautious how you play it. But if Reece James is playing in that position, you've got an idea in your mind. You know Reece is going to be there, and you instinctively quickly play that ball. We didn't have that in this game because you're making changes. When has had a start and played with Kai Havertz? They haven't. So you're just relying on training. You're not relying on fine adjustments and replacing certain players. So I feel like the gaffer is rotating a lot. He's making a lot of changes, and it's sort of hurting us in a way. And then you saw the changes that he made. He made a lot of changes, and he was trying to make something happen, bring something into the game. And it just didn't happen. We couldn't just finish it. You saw when Uber came on, he looked good. He was trying to be aggressive, and he had a few good link up plays. Sterling playing that left wing back role. He's not a left wing back. But you saw when Chuck Winnells came on, I saw a moment where Sterling was pointing to Chuck Winnells, saying to him, you need to go there and then I can pass it to you while he's got the ball. This is lack of experience and lack of game time. But our squad is a bit thin at the minute, and this is the problem. We don't have cover for Reece James. So if you're playing a wing back system, that's going to hurt you eventually, because we know Loftus-Cheek's up and down with consistency, but we know he's been better in the middle of the park. So I don't understand the tactical setup from Potter. I personally think he could have gone with a back four, and I think he could have maybe gone something like that, because let's have it right, Loftus-Cheek just ain't a wing back. Asby's not going to play wing back. Asby played again. I think he only had the only shot that made the goalkeeper make a save in the first half, was it? It's just not, like I say, nullify Mount. Where's the creation? There is none. Mason Mount is our creator. So if you zonal mark him, that's what hurts us. And it hurt us yesterday. No one wants to talk about it, but I'm talking about it. I'm landing it now. I'm telling you how it is. But then the gaffer takes him off. And this is the thing, right? I get you got Manchester United to play. I get that. All right. But Mason Mount's proved, not only is he durable, but he played every 90 minute under Tuchel. All right. And some games where you think, he might be burnt out, you won't play him. But you have to think game by game. You have to think about this game, not Manchester United. You have to think about winning this game. And you've got to have Mount on the pitch. You have to. How can you not have Mason Mount on the pitch? Tweak it so that you can actually find a way to get him in the game, because it didn't work. No one got him in the game. So he gets taken off. You bring on Pulisic. Had a very good stint. I thought Pulisic did very, very well, actually. He tried. He got into central areas. Tried to make some things happen, but then there was misplaced passes because he's not used to playing with certain players. He's not used to playing with Chuck Winnells. Sterling's not really a left wing back. So you're sort of asking, you're misprofiling players in a way, and asking them to link up. It's just not realistic. Against a Brentford team, away at Brentford is tough. You know how they play. They're relentless. They don't let you breathe on the ball. And they didn't. In the midfield, we were not allowed to breathe. And I think at the end of the day, where are the outlets? And this is the problem. The outlets ain't there. Loftus-Cheek, Cucurella. For me, in my opinion, I think Chilwell should have played. Maybe he's going to play against Man United. But there was a moment in the first half, I think it was Mount on the left side, and you're waiting for that ball 1-2. And if it was Chile, it would happen. With Kukure, it doesn't happen. But there's also this issue of lack of chemistry, lack of understanding. You have to let them bed in. These new players still need time to adjust. And it's unfortunately, you've got no time for that. And then who else you got? You got Broha, I've spoken about. I thought he did very well, but tried too hard. And it will come. But there's clearly a player in there. There was some moments where he did a bit of Costa, you know what I mean? When he's running into the space on the last shoulder, that's where Broha is dangerous, yeah? But what I noticed with Broha is his first touch let him down a little bit in the game. It just didn't stick with him. And sometimes in these games, it don't stick. It didn't stick with Kai too much. Sometimes in games, it don't stick. And that's just the way it is. But you have to put not a blame, but you have to sort of look at Potter and say, is it too many changes? Is it too many changes? Because you have to go game by game for me. It's game by game. And this was a must win for me. Like, we had to beat Brentford. Crying out loud, you've got to beat Brentford. It's not that it was a bad performance, because I thought near the end, I really felt that there was a goal coming, but it was just the final third, guys. The final third, that pass wasn't there, or when it was there, it was intercepted. Because let's have it right, Brentford had a game plan and they intercepted everything. Absolutely everything they intercepted. I think there was a run by Pulisic, yeah? And he played the right ball and Kai was there, intercepted. Too many of those moments, just slightly misplaced. That's the way it is. Listen, a draw is a fair result. And we have to still be proud of the team with all the changes and all the issues that we got the 0-0 draw. That's fine. Okay, we didn't lose the game. It's the most important thing. But we have to look at it like, this is Chelsea's squad right now. It's not, these issues ain't going anywhere. These issues are there. And I saw glimpses of how we were last year. It's exactly what I saw. Simple reason is, same situation. You lose Reece James, you ain't got an adequate backup. The board must know, all right, during the transfer window, and Tuchel knew as well, all right, that James 100% is at least injured once during the season. And when he's injured, it's like he's out for 6 weeks. He's out for 5 weeks. And we drop points. We lost Chilwell and we drop points. And we don't play the same because the backup isn't adequate enough. It's not good enough quality. And this is the problem. So no matter what you do, you're sort of playing with that deficiency there, that lack of quality, the players that are playing in positions that are not theirs. And credit to them, they're trying their best, but it's not their fault to an extent. It's just the recruitment. It's the recruitment. You got to think of these things. You got to think of these things. Reece James guaranteed he's been injured every season. In fact, I think he's missed a third of all his appearances at Chelsea, which is a lot of games he's missed. So we know that about him. We know that, what's his name? Kovacic and Kante, always injured. Always. So you know you need a depth in midfield, and you've gone for Gallagher. All right? We've brought Chuck Winnells in, and let's have it right. I'm going to prop Chuck Winnells, yeah, because he came on with no game time, not playing with these players in an actual competitive game. And I'll tell you what, the kid looks a real baller. He's got great touch, physically very strong. You can tell he's an intelligent player. And in fact, I think the goal he made is saving it, hit the post, because I was right there, almost scored for us. He gets in the right position. He's got that attacking nous about him. So very, very impressed and glad to see Chuck Winnells get in there. And then we talk about Kai Havertz, right? Kai Havertz. Now, this is the problem, right? There is clearly something wrong with Kai. He's like he's not settled. He was a favourite under Tuchel, we know that, and there's a reason for that. You have to understand that we brought in that cement-booted fraud of a striker, which basically had Kai Havertz rotting on the bench. So he never got consistency there. Only when he got injured and when Roman got sanctioned, Tuchel dropped that lamppost, that lump of shit. He dropped him, rightly so, yeah. Then you started to see a consistent run of games from Kai. The problem is no wing backs, midfielders injured, blah, blah, blah. Same old story of Chelsea's squad. It affects Kai. It affects Mount. It affects Pulisic. It affects all the players in the front line. And when Potter came in, he managed to get us playing quicker. You play Mount a little bit more deeper, and we're creating chances. We're looking dangerous. We're scoring goals. He's getting assists. This is the thing. Kai has had a shit start, if I'm being honest. He's had 3 managers now since he's been there. He's not an excuse, but he's a German player. He's a young player. He's only just turned 23 now. We signed him when he was, 20? All right? This is the problem. I'm telling you now, you go and sell Kai Havertz, it's going to be the biggest regret and decision Chelsea will make and the board will make. Because this is the problem. It's timing, right? But this kid is just turning 23, right? He's just turning 23. It's going to be our luck. He goes to a Bayern or Real or all the big clubs that want him, all right? And they're going to get 24 years old to 28-year-old Kai in his best years. Why as a fan base can Chelsea fans not be patient? All right? It's like you're expecting this player to be the finished article at 23 years old. Yes, he's had 3 seasons, but he's had 3 seasons being from 20 years old. He's a kid. He's a kid. Where's the patience? He hasn't had the patience. And I'm giving him time. Absolutely, I'll give him this season. The first season was a write-off and he ended it on a high. You know, if you don't want to be patient as a fan, that's down to you. I couldn't give a toss. But as far as I'm concerned, when I'm in the ground, I'm backing that player. I'm not going to slander him. What for? Listen, when players are down and they can't get out, or they're low on confidence, or they're not getting the results, what do you think? You think by saying he's shit, by slandering him, by hammering him, by putting out fail comps, that's going to help the player? You actually genuinely think that's going to help that player mentally? You're crackers, mate. Defeats the object of being a supporter, man. Yeah, defeats the object. And I'm sick of seeing it. It's piss poor. It's just clearly it's not right behind the scenes. He's not even being used properly. He's not even being used properly. Do you know what I mean? Listen, you go on about his wages. You go on about his transfer fee. Is that Kai Havertz's fault? That Marina went and paid 72 million. That Marina offered him 300 grand a week or 280 grand a week. Is that Kai's fault? No. Take that out of the equation. No one was saying that about Lukaku last year when he was on 440 grand a week, ratted our club, and people were still backing Lukaku to the very end. No one had this same energy for him, but they have it for Kai Havertz. So where are we going now? We moving goalposts? Is that what we do at Chelsea to suit our narrative because we want to be right about something? Instead of doing the right thing and supporting your player? You can tell he's not on form. You can tell he's a little bit lost. It's a physical league against game against Brighton. It's a physical league. You know, he's bulking up. He's trying his hardest. You know what I mean? You got to play these players, mate, if you want to play them full. And Potter, like I said, and I tweeted today, all right, the gaffer needs to find a way to get this Germany, Bayer Leverkusen Havertz for Chelsea. He needs to get it there. He needs to draw it out of Kai Havertz. He needs to, if he's got the psychological, mental way of talking to people, that intelligence degree, yeah. He needs to speak to Kai Havertz and translate that onto him and build that confidence within him, because he's got the quality, he's got talent, he's got the minerals, yeah. And I say he's a generational talent because what he's done at a young age is phenomenal. And you're buying talent. Everyone in Europe wanted this player. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Liverpool. We wanted him when we got him. We took advantage, right? And we got him. This is the thing. Kai's got it, but you lot just want to hammer him. Oh, he's had 3 seasons. So fucking what? You were all prepared to give Lukaku a season, yeah? When the guy's played 7 seasons in Premier League football in his prime of his career at 28 years old. But you don't want to give Kai an extra bit of time. You don't want to put into any context about everything that's gone on at a club. And let's have it right. KDB, yeah? KDB, right? Only became the player he was from 25 onwards. What, so you want to just sell Kai now and let him ball out another club when he can be balling out at Chelsea? Maybe the gaffer needs to play him properly. You know, I don't think Tuchel played him properly. He's clear as day a 10, a Muller role. That's what he is. But when has he ever played like that? He's never played like that. And when he is played like that, he balls out. He scores the wonder goal against England, Germany. He scores 2 goals. He anticipates. He's got free roaming role. At Leverkusen, similar situation. You see him on the middle right, in the middle, doing tricks and cutting and breaking the lines. He's a workhorse. Do you know how many runs this player makes? Do you know how many tackles this player makes? Do you know how many times against Brentford he was in our defence phase, winning the ball back to try and help his teammates? Right? It all goes under the radar of people because all they care about is GA. You know, it's not fair on Kai. At the same time, yeah, you can be critical and say he needs to step up. Me personally, my message to Kai is you've got all the minerals. He's a talent. He's a real talent. And he needs to dig out his mental minerals out. He needs to get that back and believe in himself, man. He needs to believe in himself. Flick plays him correctly. And maybe struggling without Werner. On and off the pitch. Has anyone thought about that? You know, his girlfriend, Kai Havertz's girlfriend, is best friends with Timo Werner's girlfriend. And he's gone. They've lost that. You know, the only player that Kai Havertz has got chemistry with is Mason Mount. There's no other player that he's got chemistry with. He don't have it with Pulisic, doesn't have it with Ziyech, doesn't have it with Broha yet. That will come, all right? He hasn't got it with Aubameyang. He never had it with Lukaku. He's got it with Mace. So why? My thing is this. Why don't you play Kai Havertz like you did against Wolves? Like you played against Wolves with Gallagher and Mount. Why can't you do that with Kai and Mason Mount? And have them both as those 10s. Because you know he puts in a shift in the midfield. You know he's got energy. You know he can gallop and drift with pace. But the gaffer's not doing it. All right? The gaffer's not doing it. So what are we supposed to do? Keep playing him false 9? But at the same time, in his defence, how many different players has he played with up front? It's always chopping and changing. Where's the consistency? We need a consistent lineup to an extent with a few changes. We don't have it. So the thing is, everyone needs to understand, yeah, Gaffer has now got to earn his money and try and get the baller and talent out of Kai Havertz. He has to somehow get it out of him. He's getting it out of Mace. He's getting it out of Aubameyang. He's getting it out of Trev, for example. You know, he's getting it out of players. So he needs to do it with Kai Havertz for me. It has to be done. All right. And we know that Kai Havertz, second stint of the season, he comes to life. He needs to stop that. He needs to be consistent throughout the season. You know, too many times he's back to goal, too many a touch, it was a bit off, or The second touch is off. He turns and then he gets the ball taken off. He's surrounded, but there's no support around him either. There's no outlet around him. I sympathise with him. I sympathise with him. The only player or players that have been consistent at Chelsea is Mason Mount, Thiago Silva, Reece James when he's fit. That's about it. Mendy when he was, doing well. It's not enough. We need consistency throughout the team. And the only way you get that is by playing them with each other. So they know where to be. They know what blind passes to play. This is my thing, guys. This is my thing. I think, you can say drop him and bench him. I think Potter's not going to play him against Man United because he's played the full almost 90 minutes against Brentford. So maybe that's the thought process. He's rested Sterling. He's rested Aubameyang. He's taken off Mount, fuck knows why, at 65th minute. You know what I mean? So I just feel that he's going to have to play him and play him in a position that suits him. He needs to have a talk with Havertz. It's as simple as that. He needs to talk to him, bro. Because you could tell that it's like he's not comfortable. He's not comfortable. And that's my concern. There's no doubt about his talent and ability, but he's not comfortable, guys. And this is the issue right now. And the confidence ain't quite there, clearly. But how do you expect to get confidence? You keep getting hammered by all the fans. How? How are you supposed to get that? Big up, Mitchie boy. Thanks for your meals donation. You suit minerals. Hi, Johnny. Lateness is greatness. Big up to you, geezer. Lateness is greatness, as always. And listen, Kai Havertz is having a late start to the season, but I tell you what, the greatness will come. I don't doubt the kid. I'm not doubting him. I know he's got it in him. And there's no question for me. Yeah, there's no question for me. But at the same time, you've got to understand that the way the team was last night, for me, it wasn't balanced, and that will affect your front line, and it did. Even when we made the changes, we started to look a little bit better, but there was no cutting edge because those players don't play with each other enough in the competitive games. And that's where we got done, guys. In my opinion, that's why we didn't get it over the line. It's as simple as that. Big up Chelsea old boys. My geezer, let's land it very quickly before we crack on, yeah. As always, yeah. Chelsea old boys, we see things they'll never see. Up the Chelsea, up Mills FC, London is blue. Spurs, Arsenal, you're falling off a cliff. I do not doubt it. Let's go. Champions of the world, we know what we are. Let's be honest, Johnny. Kai should have been off instead of Mount. Kai needs to step up. He's lost his touch, physicality, intelligence, and finishing. He needs more time. This is the thing. He does need more time. I agree with you. I just wouldn't have taken Mace off. I just wouldn't have done it. Why are you taking off your best player at the moment? Why? Your most important player. To rest for United. We haven't even won this game. Maybe get a goal first. Go 1-0 up and then take him off. And if we draw, fair play. But I just felt that it was a wrong decision, mate. Wrong decision. You don't take Mount off. I know he was isolated. I know he was getting zonal mark, but you still find a way. You're a tactician. Find a way to tweak it a bit. Maybe push him up more forward so they can't block the midfield because they were blocking the midfield too much. Mace did try to stretch him out and sometimes he got in space. But again, he's not played with Broha. Kai Havertz is not really a right-sided or left-sided forward. Like, he plays with a striker best or he plays behind the striker. Unless you've got goal-scoring wingers either side of Kai with trickery, what are you going to do? And that's my thing. But yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think he's really down at the minute. I think Kai's down at the minute. And people need to stop fucking going at him. Do you know what I mean? Don't think that the players don't look at the social media. He's very much on social media. You putting all this shit out and slandering him and failed comps and all this nonsense is unacceptable, bruv. It's unacceptable. When a player's down, that's when he needs your support the most. Not when he's fucking booming and you're like, yeah, big up, what a player. Oh, I always back the player. No, you didn't. No, you did not. Wishy-washy. Wishy-fucking-washy, bro. It's not fucking good enough. Kai's not on 300 grand. Kai's on, I think he's on about 180, 190 or something like that. Or maybe over 200. But he's nowhere near 300. It was Werner that was 290 grand. But let's have it right. Lukaku was on 440 grand. No one's fucking moaning about that. In fact, we're struggling now. He might not stay at Inter Milan. Yeah? Because they can't afford his wages. In fact, we're having to pay his wages with Inter Milan because they're so broke just to offload that lump. Rat. Funny enough, I think it's the Lukaku stands that are really onto Kai Havertz. Funny enough, isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic? They're all on Kai, but they weren't on Lukaku. Fucking joke. You say it's not a development club. No, it's fucking well not. So if Potter doesn't get top four, what? You're going to sack Potter? You're not going to give him time to develop and build a team? What logic is that? What don't you understand that a player is young, all right? And players have different growth spurts. This player right now is clearly at a standpoint. He's stuck. So he needs to either be taken out a little bit, work hard on training, understand what the gaffer wants of him, let the gaffer work with him, all right, and talk to him and help him with the mentality side of things, all right? And then bring him back in the game, or you play him and say, do you know what? Fucking land your minerals. You know, either way, it's got to be done. One or the other. All right? One or the other. Has to be done. At the end of the day, wages and transfer fees is irrelevant, mate. I don't give a toss about that. That's down to the previous regime, yeah? All right? That's what they did. That's got nothing to do with Kai. So you've got to stop bringing up all that nonsense. Big up Lewis. Lewis Geezer, do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you know, it's about being right, isn't it? All right. But it's not. You know, sometimes you have to support the player, bruv. You know, you have to support the player. It doesn't help coming at him 24/7 because we want to be right about something. It's like agenda, bruv. It's just pure agenda. And it's not right. It's not right. I heard you last night, Geezer. How many times do I have to tell you, bruv? It's not right, bruv. It's just not. You know, there was other fans giving it as well, but you can't be like that. You have to support him. He's a Chelsea player. Come the end of the season and he doesn't do it or he's leaving, say what the fuck you want. Dig at him all day long, but not during the season. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with coming at players like that mid-season when they're down as well. It's not right. It's not right, bruv. It is a reactionary FC fan base. It is. They've all been like that. He's absolutely piss poor, mate. Piss poor. And like I say, yeah, midfield. The midfield, right? Too slow. Too slow. And we know why. We know why. And at the same time, you're playing players in positions that are not their positions, so it's going to be even slower. So that is it, bruv. Until we quicken the play. When you play Man United, we've got to be at the races. We have to be quick. We have to be at them, front foot, press, relentless, recovery. Where was our recovery yesterday? We were losing all the second balls. The ball weren't sticking. They kept winning the balls in the right areas. These are the issues. This is where we need to tweak it and get that right, because we saw it against Wolves. We saw it against AC Milan. We saw it in all these games. We haven't seen it now. We haven't seen it. Villa and now Brentford. It's almost like the form from Villa's carried on to Wolves, to Brentford. It's carried on. So this is my thing, bruv. This is my thing. Yeah, it's just piss poor, guys. Absolutely piss poor. I don't like it one bit. And especially all the failed comps. I see it with Mount. But the thing is with Mount, it always happens. They always do it. No matter what, they'll do a failed comp. And this is the problem with people's agendas, right? Is that they want to be so right because they've been royally fucked continuously, that when that little window comes open or they don't play well or things ain't happening, we'll forget the rest of the team, all right? And we'll pinpoint individuals, right? And we'll go, yeah, I was right, see? But then we'll change the argument and we'll say, but it's a team game when we win this. It's a team game when we win this. It's not about individuals. But I'll single out this player. That's why we play shit up front. That's why we play shit in the midfield. This is the same thing all the time. It's not consistent. In fact, it's so inconsistent, turns you into a wishy-washy flip-flopper, agenda merchant. And it defeats the whole object, being a supporter. We can all criticise, but we don't slam. We don't hammer. We don't dig. Yeah? We can say, and I've said it, Kai wasn't very good. But I know there's a player in there. People are doubting him so much. It's like they've forgotten what they signed. They've forgotten what he can bring. This is the problem, guys. This is the problem. Yeah, you're right. What's his name? Footlaw. Who's it? No, Chelsea Dan. You're right. If we play like that on Saturday, we will lose. Absolutely right. You can't play like that against Man United after them spanking Spurs. And let's have it right. All the idiots, all the muppets, yeah, that wanted Cristiano Ronaldo. And Tuchel said, I don't want him in my squad, in my dressing room. He's toxic. Look what happened last night. Look what's happening now at Manchester United. And people wanted this player and they were coming at Tuchel about not signing or wanting Ronaldo. Where are you now? Where are you now? Because you were prepared to bring that toxicity, that egotistical superstardom to your dressing room, and it would have disrupted it. We tried it with Lukaku, yeah? Didn't go down very well, did it? You can do it with Ronaldo. And now look, Ten Hag's had to make a statement, and it can backfire on him or it can help him go forward. But this is a problem. It's a problem you don't want in your dressing room. Excluding Cristiano Ronaldo out of the team against Chelsea is a big thing. It's a massive thing. What he's done is unacceptable, Ronaldo. It's all about him. It's Mr. Me. I'm the big shot. I'm the show. All because, why? Because he wanted to leave. And Ten Hag covered it up. And now it's all coming to the surface. And he's not playing him. He's not playing Ronaldo. And Ronaldo's getting pissed off because he's ready to play. These are problems. Don't want him at Chels. In a way, it's good that he's not going to play on Saturday, or that he's going to be on the bench on Saturday. All right? Because let's have it right. Even if he comes on 15 minutes, he's got goal for it. He can finish. But he's not going to be there. how's it going to affect Manchester United? Manchester United players might feel good about it. Be like, shit, we can't muck around with a gaffer. The gaffer's making a stamp, a stamp. Bit like what Arteta did with Aubameyang and these other players, all right? But it can backfire, guys. It backfired on Arteta last year because they could have had with Aubameyang, they maybe would have got top 4, but instead they bottled top 4. But let's see how they do this season, Let's see how they do this season. It's the way it goes, mate. It's a good point. People don't show the good stuff from the players in the game. They? If it's Kai, for instance, he could have a great game and still find little bits to have a dig at him for. And that's the thing. It's because of this whole thing of wanting to be right. No one likes to be wrong. No one ever likes to be wrong. And that's the problem. They defend their opinion because they don't want to look like a mug. And that's why the Mount haters hate Mount even more, because he's mudded them royally. Yeah, that's what he's done. And as far as I'm concerned, you either support him or don't. It's simple as that. Big up, Geezer.
How are we doing, Johnny?
I'm all right, Geezer. I'm all right. Talk to me.
What is it to say, mate? It's the same old narrow-minded. What's the word? Narrow-minded. Reactionary fan base that we have and continuously have. And why I agree that Kai Havertz was really poor yesterday, and I get it. I get the whole arguments about how he played. I have said the same thing as pretty much what you said today. I think there is more of I think you can see he's low in confidence. You can see there's something mentally not right there with him, and people moan about his ability specifically and what he offers. But I just disagree with that. When people start talking about his ability, I just find it a little bit weird. Look, everyone can have their preferences in life, right? You like Mount, I may like whoever, Thiago Silva, Lewis loves whoever, right? We all have our preferences, and we have the players that we're not fond of. Where I cut a line with it, and this is what I keep trying to explain to people, is that you can criticize players. There's nothing wrong with that. Criticizing is fine. Valid criticism is good for our own players, because why? Especially like Mason Mounts, the Kai Havertz, is they're very young. They're still becoming the players that they're going to become. They've not even hit their primes yet, But when you sit there continuously slandering them and gutting them, and some of the things I see on timeline, and saying get out of the club and this, that, and the other, and I just cut the line, because for me it's a really easy thing of just saying, give him the season. Like I said to Kai, give him the season. I know, and we know, that Kai needs to turn it around right now. He's not in the greatest of form right now, and he needs to find it. But sitting here fucking moaning and slandering him and cutting him and whatever every blimmin' game. And you know what's so bad about it all is Kai Havertz. If you ask all these people that are moaning about Kai Havertz in your chat or on timeline, take Kai Havertz out of the team, what specifically improves within our squad? Because when you look at the squad itself and the crop of players that we have, we already know that majority of them, not all of them, but majority of them are inconsistent in their own performances anyway. So get rid of one and put in who? So how are we getting closer to the Man Cities at the top of the league here? Where are we going? Because I get it if you're saying to me that there's an Eden Hazard on the bench that's that good in our team that's being benched and for a player. There isn't that. We haven't got that Eden Hazard player. We haven't got a player that can take the game by the scruff of the neck, like games yesterday with Brentford where it's hard. And we need someone that to just make some magic happen. And I keep saying the word magic in terms of picking the ball up, attracting players, doing the 1-2 and opening the pitch and, just having that whiff about them. We don't have that in the team at the moment. So taking Kai Havertz out of the equation, which is what these lot all want to happen, and maybe he does need to sit bench because of his performances, and putting on who? Tell me who makes us a better squad, but not just a better squad, makes us more of a consistent squad. Because at the moment, I keep telling people this, we lack consistency with this current crop of players. The balance is not there. We get a couple of injuries, and we're not as, you can already see that there's issues within the squad still that need to be rectified. And I'm cool with that because I understand where my club is. Some people
Yeah,
just think
exactly.
taking one player out is it. That's it. Get rid of him. He's shit.
Oh, yeah, it solves the problem. Yeah.
Why are we so narrow-minded about the situation? We know that the midfield needs sorting out. We know we need wing-backs that need to come in as well. We know we need a dribbler, an actual dribbler up front that can create space and create more. We need creators in the team. So where are we going with this? Slandering players now is not getting us anywhere as a football club. I don't get it. That's what annoys me.
That's the point there. You take Kai Havertz out, you lose that work rate. All right, let's have it right. No one, Pulisic, Ziyech, do not work anywhere near what Kai Havertz works when it comes to off the ball. They do not. That's why Tuchel always played Kai, because no matter what, he does that, right? And you saw him in the Brentford game. He was digging out in the defence, like what was it? Who was playing right wing back? Loftus-Cheek. He was down Loftus-Cheek's end by the corner flag.
Out of position,
digging out for his teammate to help Loftus-Cheek, who's out of position. But no one wants to take consideration of that. Pulisic ain't doing that for you. Pulisic ain't doing that. Ziyech ain't doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Broha can't do that because he's meant to be that central number 9. So who else is going to give you that apart from Mason Mount? No one.
Even he was, in many ways, yesterday played in a position where he was isolated because of it all. And we didn't get to see the best of him because he didn't get enough of the ball. We didn't give him the ball enough. Mason
exactly.
Mount.
No, I know.
So my thing is, when Mason Mount played like he did against Aston Villa and he was that important, and then we get to Brentford and he disappears, when are we going to sit there and think to ourselves, why are we not consistent? Why is our forward line not consistent? What is it that we're not doing? Why are we not finding any rhythm in our systems? That's what annoys me about it. It's more than just one player, two player. Talk about the fucking balance, the system, the midfield, the lack of creativity, the lack of consistency from a lot of the players that start, even in the midfield. It's even our wing backs to a degree. Kukureya's been awful the last 2 games. Chilwell's not been up to the standards himself. There's a couple of things here that it's not ticking at the moment for us.
Do you know what it is, though? It's too many at the same time.
Yes.
And that's why we're getting hurt at the minute. We've got away with it first, obviously. We've won 5 games on the trot, yeah. But it comes to an end at one point, right? And James being out is another thing of familiarity, yeah. All right. Where players on the pitch, they know without having to think players what positions they're in. We didn't have that yesterday with everyone. And the other issue for me is the slowness of the play.
100%.
The slow transitions. 100%. And it's not only with the ball, it's without the ball. So it's that transition of being in attack, going defensive, or going from defensive to attack. It's slow.
And one big thing on top of all of that, which you're right on, and you were there, you saw it yourself, and what I was watching on TV, the final pass in the first half was shocking. Some of the runs that we were making. Look at the final passes into him. Kovacic, how many times did they get goal kicks from a shit ball from him or Jorginho that didn't go to any forward?
And that's another thing, Jem. Jorginho and Kovacic, the problem with this system as well, but also the problem with the midfield, all right? And I'm not digging at the players. It's just, it is what it is, and that's their capabilities. But let's have it right. Jorginho, apart from penalties, ain't giving you a goal. Very rarely gives you an assist, first thing. Kovacic, very rarely gives you an assist, cannot shoot or score a goal unless it's a wonder goal once in a lifetime. Yeah. So that's 2 players there. Loftus-Cheek, where does he get you goals? He doesn't, and he's out of position. Gallagher and Mount are the only ones that can get you that goal from outside the box. Mount, we know, can score goals. Take Mount out of it. All right. Who else you got in the midfield?
You're limited, don't you? That's the problem. Yeah, Kante. He ain't going to do that.
Right. So this is the problem. And I've been saying it for the last season and a half. We do not have a midfielder that can get you a goal. We had Essien, we had Ballax, we've had Lampard, we've had those central midfielders who dictate the play in the middle of the park and they score you goals, they get you assists. Where have we seen that with Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante? Mainly Kante gets more than any of them. All right, and that's not Kante's job. That's the problem.
100%. Do you know what, Johnny? I'm going to land this
before I say last night's game was that is what we needed in that game. We didn't have it. You saw it with Man United against the Cypriot team in the Europa League, and all it took was a Scott McTominay to just have a shot and score a goal because no one else could score. They couldn't score. They created so many chances. That's what we needed last night. We needed that shot from inside, outside the box. Cover tried it a few times and it went all over the gaff. Jorginho tried it all over into the stands. That's the problem, Geezer. We don't have it. And if you take Mount and you don't have Gallagher, where's that coming from? You have to rely on trickery, intricate passing, a perfect through ball, and even then you're not guaranteed to finish.
And there's not even a player on the pitch that can dribble and actually create that way. Who can dribble on a fucking pitch and take players on and attract players at a certain level? Pulisic should be doing it. Doesn't do it enough. Maybe this is his chance to show us. He came on in the second half. He looked all right. But I'm going to land it really quickly, right? And this is what I truly believe from what I've seen since Thomas Tuchel took over from Frank Lampard to where we are with Graham Potter now. And it's still early doors of Graham Potter, so we'll see. But from what I've seen up to this point, the current players, and this is the thing I've been thinking about, right? I think part of the issue is, and why I always talk about this crop of players and their lack of consistency in their own performances, is that I think the managers that have come in have got a specific idea or role of how they want to play, right? As every manager does, right? But when you come to Chelsea, you're given a crop of players that go back to maybe even Sarri Day still, which is what we've still got at the moment, right? We don't
even.
Yeah, even Conte, right? The Thomas Tuchel thing, this is why I got annoyed with Thomas Tuchel getting sacked. The Thomas Tuchel thing of he got given a season and then was backed, given players and then sacked as quickly as he was, when it left a bitter taste in my mouth. Because for me, we took 2 steps back again, all right? And we gave Graham Potter the opportunity to come in now with a crop of players, which are going from Thomas Tuchel all the way down to Maurizio Sarri, right? But the issue that I think we do have is that these managers want to play a certain style of football and system. But I just think the crop of players that we have in here are
can't do it.
Not only are they not consistent, but they're not able to carry it out on a consistent basis, match after match after match. And we actually miss specific profile of players still to enhance the systems that they want to do. The reason we don't see it is because we never fucking give them long enough to be able to do that. So we're going to have the same problem with Graham Potter this year. So I keep telling people, don't think the Graham Potter football is going to happen straight away. We're going to win games. We're going to lose games shit. And we're going to draw games like we did yesterday. Yeah. And that's all to do with not having certain profile of players and the consistency of individuals in a system to allow this to happen. And I keep telling people this.
And that also the fact that you got crops of players from 5 previous managers. Tuchel, this is what everyone knows how I was. All my followers, and supporters, they know, that in that Tuchel period, this was the opportunity for him to build his team and get the players he wanted. But the owners didn't want to fucking back him, so we lost him, and we have to start the whole process again with the same group of players without having a full window of the new manager. Now we've got to wait till next summer and January to get some little whoever it is, but it's not going to be like your main targets. All right. So we've taken another step back. We're in a massive rebuild where we are. And the bottom line is the players we got all suit different systems.
Exactly.
And when you play them, you get about 70% out of those play. 70% of that lineup can play the system. Might not be to their best, but they'll be able to do it, right? Yeah. And then the other 30%, those 70% group of players have to help that 30% because you've got those deficiencies, you've got those flaws, no matter what lineup you pick. Then when you go from your first 11 to the squad players, your 70% goes down to fucking 50 to 40%. And that's where the injuries come in and all that. Like we've got James out now, we've got no backup. All right, makes it even harder. Cucurella, Chile needs time to get back to form. So Cucurella's going to have games, all right. So we can't come at Chilwell, but I felt like Chile would have been good yesterday. My point is this: you've got these players with these profiles, but you still haven't. The board previous to Bowley, all right, did not go and buy the player that Lampard wanted, that Tuchel then wanted, and they still didn't buy him, which is a defensive midfielder. Box-to-box midfielder, a Declan Rice,
a creator, dribbler as well. They wanted to
score a goal, who's a destroyer, who's physically strong. He can sit. He allows you to play a back 4, back 3 if you want, and he's durable. He's got Premier League pedigree. You didn't go and get that player under Lampard. You didn't go and get that player under Tuchel. Why? Because you were calling the shots. And you thought you knew better at football, what football players to buy because of the marketing aspects, because of the name it is. But you didn't go and get the most important thing for the team and the squad, which allows the manager to have flexibility. We haven't got that player, and we lacked that last night. If you had a Declan Rice last night, we're winning that game. I'm not just saying Declan Rice.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
giving you a
lacking.
profile.
We're
Or a
lacking
Bellingham. Even a Bellingham, bruv. Someone who's quick.
I'm just watching.
shot.
Funny enough, I was just watching a video of Rice against Liverpool and his progression. It's actually quite impressive in the way he was moving
He's
forward.
quick. He's quick. He gets the ball, bush forward,
and he's always looking forward, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
You know, but him, you know, a player like him or a Bellingham or whatever, you need a Leao type of player. Why do you think Thomas Tuchel was trying so hard to get Rafinha? People don't talk about this that much. Why do you think Thomas Tuchel wanted Rafinha so much at Chelsea? I'll tell you why. Because he's a creator. Because he dribbles. Because he takes a player on. Because he commits players. That creates space for other players like Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, who play better in what? Space. Pockets. Where they can run into and be effective. When you give the ball to Kai Havertz in the final third and you say to him, do Hazard, do it. He's not going to do that because he's not a natural dribbler. He's not that person. He's a person that is very direct and likes driving and using his movement to run into pockets of spaces that are created for him. If there's no fucking space made for him and we have no dribblers on the pitch, what the fuck's he going to do? And this is what I keep saying to people. It's the profile of the players that we have in this system and the lack of the lack of the profiles that we need that ain't in the system. Which is why we're not seeing I don't enjoy watching us. I don't enjoy watching Chelsea play football. I don't. Because we don't play great football. We don't. It's fucking boring. I don't like it. I've not liked it for a while, Johnny. It's not good to watch. Why? Because we're so unbalanced. Because we have a crop of players that lack consistency, that can only play to a certain level. And they can't continue it.
Tuchel, bruv. That's why it's unfair on Tuchel.
It's unfair on any manager that comes here. At the moment.
Well, yeah, that's extent, but that was the Roman way. Getting a manager, you deal with a crop of players and you make sure you win. If you don't, you're out. But when Tuchel found a way to get the balance using the group of players he got, and it was successful. And then the deficiencies started to show and the cracks appeared because of the injuries and all the issues and the lack of signings. And then signing the wrong profile. Another one, Lukaku, a wrong profile player for our team. All right, a wrong profile. So again, you take another step back, you lose money, it's wasted because the structure behind the scenes is all over the gaff. Now the new ownership's come in, they're trying to restructure and it takes time. Potter's coming in now. They've chosen Potter instead of Tuchel to be that guy to build that model and that vision. All right, for whatever reason, that's the way it's gone. Maybe Tuchel just didn't have the patience for it, and I don't blame him. He's an elite gaffer. He ain't got time for that nonsense. He wants to go into a club, manage the players, and that's it. Didn't have that at Chelsea. He had to deal with a lot more things. But when you get like people that come out, like this numpty George Benson comes out and says, "Oh, Tuchel's past the inheritance stage now," you know, in this transfer window. No, he fucking well ain't. Nowhere near past the inheritance stage. Now we've got Potter, who's now he's in the inheritance stage again. And now Potter, in my opinion, with less experience, all right, he's got to find ways that Tuchel to prop himself like Tuchel did. Is he going to do that?
That's the problem. He's having to find ways, not in that fits what he wants to do, but find ways to get the best out of players of a mixed fucking bag of Haribos.
Yeah,
that's what it's like.
Correct.
You know, when you get a pack of Haribos, that's part. And people don't. This is the problem. I ain't got to let people. Some people, oh, Jim's lost it. I haven't lost it. I know Lightbulb. He goes on my channel as well and talk shit. People that just want to be narrow-minded about the situation and say he's shit, just get rid of him. I ain't got time for you because that is not one of the real issues. It may be a part of it in terms of consistency in their performance and actually turning up on the day, but it's more than just one player not playing well, guys. Open your fucking eyes. It's more to that with Chelsea, and it just needs time. That's all it is. We're so fucking reactionary.
And it's also that
you know,
that whole narrative. Oh yeah. We didn't win the Champions League because of Kai. We won it because of the team. But when it suits you, you want to pinpoint a player. That's why we lost.
A lot's happened since Kai Havertz has come to this football club. A lot has happened at this club that people don't want to
talk about. Let's talk about Kai, because we both love Kai. We know what his ability is. We know what his potential in ceiling is. I know it.
Listen. Let me just before you do that, right?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work for him here, and it may be the case, and this will make all the Havertz agendas that have wanted him out feel happy about it, because a lot of them, let's be seriously, are all Lukaku lovers and still are Lukaku lovers that are doing that. Yeah, I've seen who they are, so I know who it is. It just makes them feel better about the situation, in my eyes.
Yeah, to be right. They want to be right.
But at the end of the day, if it doesn't work at Chelsea and he decides to leave and he moves on, I promise you now he will go somewhere like Bayern Munich, right? And he will just become the player that he will become. Because why? Because they've got a system that actually does suit him, and it will fit into that system with world-class players around him. And you'll see Kai Havertz. You won't see Kai Havertz at the moment to what we want to see him at, because we do still lack certain profile players for him to benefit from it as well. I get it, 72 million, and the price tag doesn't help. I get that, and we should be criticising him partly for his performances, because yesterday wasn't good enough. He wasn't good. He wasn't good. He didn't look confident. Yeah, I agree with it in that instance. But when we sit here slandering him and say he's been shit for 3 years and he's done nothing and he's worse than Timo Werner, I've heard, and Lukaku's better than him, and this is where I just cross the line with it, because it's getting stupid, guys.
But this is the thing, Jem, right? If you look at, if he goes to Real, he goes to Bayern Munich, right? Argument's sake, yeah. If you look at their setup and their model, it's all balanced. It's all ready to go. So Kai actually, that benefits Kai because he goes into two teams that have quality around him, that have balance around him, and he will ball out. Just like Kevin De Bruyne, who went from Wolfsburg to City, who City won the title, and they had a title winning team. They had how much money they spent. They had a team of Agueros and all sorts of players, yeah? All right. And Kevin De Bruyne went in that team and he was allowed to develop with those players around him without that pressure on him, right? Because he only went for 40 million back then, okay? Which is still a lot of money. But they bought him at 25 years old. We bought Kai at 20 years old, going on just 23 now. He's still young. You need patience. And if you're not prepared to give him the patience, then be prepared to let him go and be that fucking Ballon d'Or player at another club, because it won't be at Chelsea. And that's
the wrong club for patience. There's no patience at this football club.
Is Potter going to be patient with him?
Yeah.
This is my question. Is Potter and the board going to be patient with him?
True. Different board now. Different. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You know, do you realise
the old guard wouldn't have? I think the old guard would have probably, at the end of this season, looking at it all, probably would have thought, you know what, we're going to move him on now and get someone else. They would. That's the way it is, and that's how this fan base's mindset is built, because of the way we were run for the last 20 years.
I want to answer this. Yeah, he was bought to be that big player in our team, and now I'm hearing he needs players around to do it. Right, let's have it right. Okay, he wasn't bought to be that big player. He was bought as an opportunistic signing. All right. Marina took advantage of the market, knowing that he was a sought after player. And let's have it right. If Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, the two main clubs after him, had the money, he wouldn't have come to Chelsea. And that's a fact. He would have gone to those two clubs. That's the first thing. The second thing is you're buying potential because he's a 20-year-old player. All right. He's 20-year-old. And you're putting him into a team with Frank Lampard, who's been in a transfer ban, who's had no ability to buy players or build a team. You've only gone in that window and bought 7 first-team players and integrate. And Kai was one of those. It's very hard to gel a team with 7 new players in a squad and expect to just compete and get them. They all click and they all know where to be in the positions, and they all know how to pass each other and create chances. It doesn't work like that. Football's not like that. When you look at Fergie back in the day, and it's a great example because he was the most successful English manager, yeah? All right? When you look at him, all right, every season, you wouldn't see him go and buy 7 players or 5 players. He was buying 1 or 2, all right? He'd tweak it a little bit, similar to what City have done, and it keeps the competition up. It adds something different to your team. So next year, you're not predictable with your lineup. You're not predictable because you've got different players with different attributes or something different that adds to your team. Where have Chelsea done that? We haven't. When we go and win titles, we don't go and spend. And if we spend, we buy shit.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
we bought a lot of chalk and cheese, didn't we? And that's the serious. When we bought Kai
Yeah.
Havertz, we bought Timo Werner, we bought Hakim Ziyech, we bought players that at the time looked good on paper. Don't get me wrong, because of what they were doing across Europe, but
But
in
look at their
theory,
profiles.
yeah, you know, I don't blame. Like you look at the profile, fine. And look, I'll be honest. I'll keep saying this. He cannot play like he did yesterday this season. Yeah, if he doesn't change this up here, his mindset, and start finding his performances again in his form, he will go. And I'm not sitting here defending him in the fact of the way that he played yesterday, because yesterday it wasn't good enough. I've said this already. It wasn't. But at the same time, he's not going anywhere now. So stop saying sell him now or get rid of him in January. They're not going to do that. So just wait. You know, at the end of the day, it's weird. It's funny how Potter and Tuchel and all these managers play him. You know, they must see something in him, innit? Obviously, they're playing him in and out of games, isn't it? And not playing the likes of Pulisic. I know RD's in the chat and he's a big Pulisic fan as well. But it's just funny, isn't it? But I do think when someone's in real bad form,
you want to drop Kai, yeah, and play
Yeah.
Pulisic, but Pulisic doesn't give you anything off the ball work rate.
Mm.
Nowhere near Kai. I'm sorry. I've watched him for too long to know that he doesn't. All right. But he's got different attributes. He's a little bit more, tries to be a little bit more direct in this and that. But this is the thing, right? You're swapping a Kai Havertz player for a Pulisic player, but they offer different things. All right. So when you swap a player, you gain maybe somewhere, but you lose else. You lose in another department with every player. No one gives you near enough like to like abilities, capabilities, or what they offer to the team. It's always like, I've got to sacrifice this for that. It's always a sacrifice, every position, you know, and that's the problem because, like we say, we've got profiles of different players from previous managers. It's all
But I knew that in the summer, Johnny. When I sat there and I knew,
we
all knew specifically the areas. We lost Rudiger. We went backwards by a step or two by losing the players that we didn't renew contracts of, right? We knew that we had loads of areas to sort out. We got Sterling, and I told everyone that won't be enough, and it still won't be enough, right? Sterling, and people haven't been speaking about recently, hasn't been playing well for a while.
No,
it hasn't been playing
no,
well. People are not talking about that. How? And he's a forward. All of a sudden, Sterling can't even start playing well. So what is that then? If Sterling, this great Premier League proven player who's come into this Chelsea system, why is he now not firing and playing like he was against it? What is it? No one's had that conversation yet because, you know, he scored a couple of goals and he's new here still and they want to give him time. Fine. But it is very weird how we can't seem to build any consistency with any forwards that come through this door at the moment, isn't it? When you think about it. And why? Because the truth is, we still lack certain profiles to add to it. Sterling needs, on the other side, a Leao or someone. Or, and I'm going to say it, and people may disagree with it, someone like a Zaha that's a very direct with the ball and dribbles and takes people on. Something of that kind of player, along with a Aubameyang, who will score you goals, yeah, which we've already got, and with Kai Havertz as playing as a 10 off him, then and Mason Mount, obviously, you know that we still miss stuff, you know, and that's why Sterling's not 100% looking great at the moment, you know, when he's in the team, and it's like we're being heavily
as a left wing back,
yeah,
now.
But you know,
this is.
This is my point. You're paying Sterling 300k a week, and we're now utilising him as a wing back because we're suffering from injuries. All right, Reece James, one big injury, one of our biggest creators in the team, is gone. So where's the creativity coming now? The midfield that can't do it, because that's what we saw yesterday.
It's only Mount. Mount is the only one. There's no one else.
And Mount's other than Mount. Who else creates in that fucking team when the Reece James ain't there? Other than maybe the defence on the odd occasion, Silva or someone. Do you know what I mean? Over the top. Other than that, Jorginho
that's another thing I want to mention as well.
You know,
when we didn't have Silva in the back, I thought Trev did very well to be calm and
I thought Trevor Chalobah was man of the match for me. I said it. It wasn't Kepa.
Yeah.
I said Trevor Chalobah all day.
Yeah,
was
I agree. I think he was. He didn't do anything wrong. He was bang on everything, and he dealt with an informed striker. Let's have it right, because Koulibaly was a bit all over the gaff. The thing for me is this: when you don't play Thiago Silva, all right, have you noticed the last two games we've lacked that calmness?
He brings that, doesn't he? Yeah, that's him, isn't it?
Yeah, Thiago played Villa, right? Thiago played Villa, and we were still shaky. But what I'm saying is, the overall team, if you look at Potter's first sort of 5 games, 6 games, more so when we started winning, you know, there was a calmness about the players in any situation. I haven't seen that in the last 2 games.
I was at the Villa
And you,
game.
and,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was at the Villa game away. Yeah, I was there.
sorry, Brentford. You lacked that.
Yeah, you was at Brentford. I went to Villa, right? And out of the 2 games, I thought we were. I mean, in terms of the way that we played, I thought Villa we were shocking, to be honest. From North, other than Kepa and Mason Mount, we didn't have any transitions like built quick transitions, nothing. But when you looked at when you looked at the Villa game specifically and the way that we played it, we looked like we hadn't ever played with each other before. I don't get how we go like that, and we've done that so many times under Tuchel. And we're now doing it now under Graham Potter. We couldn't even put 2 balls together. Sterling and Aubameyang were walking. People were banging on about Aubameyang, Sterling starting against Brentford, and maybe they maybe should have, but no one wants to talk about how bad they was against Villa when in the 45 minutes second half when they came on. Sorry, when they played Aubameyang and Sterling up front, because Sterling was playing as a right wing back at the
They
first.
were anonymous.
And they were anonymous. But then they put him. What they did is what Potter did. He went, you know what? Take you out. He put Aubameyang and Sterling up front, and he put Mason Mount, I think, in and around behind him, and he brought Conor Gallagher on, if you remember, as well at a later stage. He played Aubameyang and Sterling up front, and they were non-existent. They didn't get nothing. They couldn't even hold the ball up. They were walking. People were moaning at how they were just standing there. They were disinterested. They weren't even working hard for the team off the ball. Yeah, none of that. Some of the things that actually Kai Havertz used to do last season, even when he weren't scoring, working hard off the ball and chasing every little. Bro, I done it at Brentford. You saw it yourself. When he didn't get the ball, what did he do? He hunted it, didn't he? He had the end. And you want them type of players in your team, especially when you're not playing great.
But
you
this
need
is another
people that make
problem,
things
Jem.
happen.
Broha came on and he did all right in moments, right? But he's got lack of game time, all right? No sharpness in game, all right? It's different to training and being fit, all right? And he came on against Wolves. He scored a fucking brilliant goal, right? But he started in this game, and it was like he tried too hard. His touch wasn't there. He was, it was disjointed. But that's not his fault. It's just that he hasn't played enough with these players in a Premier League game or any game like that, being the front liner, playing with Kai in the front. When have they ever played together? Never.
But I was happy, bro. I got the minutes.
And then on top of that, you're playing Loftus-Cheek right wing back. You're playing Cucurella left wing back.
Mount
you're
left.
Playing Jorginho with Gallagher to start off with, all right, which I was very worried about. And I didn't think we started very well. And then
Mount being asked to stay left because every time I watched him, he was just holding left most of the time. It was like he was being told to stay left.
Because every time he was going in the middle, he was surrounded.
Yeah.
So he had to go out far left or far right and try. And then Bro had that chance where he was always thinking about shooting, but he should have passed it across.
Yeah, we know that.
And that comes with sharpness.
Well, Aubameyang would have looked up, wouldn't he? He would have looked up.
Yeah,
and probably played
I think he would have. Yeah. I think Aubameyang. My point is, Broha was trying too hard to do well for himself instead of thinking for the team. That was it's not his fault, and I get it. He's like, this is my opportunity. If I don't take it, if I just get an assist, it's not good enough as me. I want to.
Yeah, but then saying that, I think Broha getting himself in that position in the first place, and that's what I was talking about. Chasing the ball, he had to scrap for that. He literally was miles behind that, and he put him on the floor, got up. He could have had a free kick, got up, and then tried to get on with it. Like, I don't know if Aubameyang would have been able to do that just because of his age, his pace and whatever. But he has that fight about him, and I like that. But the only thing he needs to do, and I agree with you, he's trying too hard that he's not looking up and making the right passes when he should, he should do and stuff like. But that will come with time. He's 21 years old, bro. Do you know what I mean? I think he does deserve more minutes, though, in my opinion.
He does, and I think he's a fantastic prospect, and he's got minerals, and there's nothing to talk about. I'm just giving you an example. Like, Potter made these changes, and I think it was a change too far. I think if you have Aubameyang there in that game, I think there's a bit more familiarity with Mount, Aubameyang, and Havertz, or even a Sterling, Aubameyang, and Mount. And he didn't do that. He's trying to please players, but sometimes, like I said, I think he needs to look at it game by game, and you play your best 11 every game. That's the way I look at it. I know you got to rotate, but the changes have got to be very minute. he got away with big changes. Was it against Wolves? He made 7 changes against Wolves.
Yeah,
We won the
yeah.
game 3-0. But it's a different game. Brentford's a different game away to make
We do have a
lot
good
of
bench as
changes.
well, and I get why he's, when you look at the bench that we have now and what Tuchel had last season, you could probably argue that there is more ammunition. There is. You got your Gallaghers, and you've got other people in Sterling's and so we've got more there available for him to utilize it. I just think Graham Potter yesterday, for me, I agree with you. I think when I look at that, if it was another 20 minutes on top of that game, I think we would have scored, because we looked like we were going to score the last 10 minutes or so. We were dominating there. We were out of breath. It looked like, we were creating after the top, after top, after top. But where Graham Potter got it wrong for me yesterday, not only was it that he decided to play players out of position, and initially the way we set up, I think, wasn't the perfect way to start the game, in my opinion. But it was also the fact that he left the substitution so late. And we banged on about Thomas Tuchel.
He did.
He done the exact same thing by bringing Aubameyang in 80th minute. Why? Why did you wait to the 80th minute? We were 0-0. We weren't winning 2-0 here. You should have done these changes, all of them, in the 60th minute, latest for me, giving them half hour. We've got half hour of Sterling, Pulisic, who was playing well, Aubameyang, and maybe kept Mount on there and took Havertz off because he was struggling anyway. Yeah, and just gone for it like that. I think we probably would have won that game. It's the decision making of when to change it. When it's not working, change it. And when it's not working, Graham Potter needs to see that and go, right, you know what? I need to have that cutthroat. A bit like Mourinho. Do you remember Mourinho back in the day when things weren't working? He didn't give a shit. He'll take you off in 30 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Or 40 minutes or 20 minutes. If it's not working, you change it. And that's what he should have done yesterday. And that ultimately did cost us, Graham Potter. He did a little bit in that game.
I
He cost us.
think he did. And I think he just about got away with it at Villa. Just.
Yeah. Yes. I'll do that,
yeah. And then he tried to get away with it again. You cannot be doing this shit against Man United because you'll lose.
No, he's got to play.
Man United's record at Stamford Bridge ain't that good either. So if you're losing against Man United, something's not right. You're making it. You can't afford to make changes. Too many changes.
Well, it's easy, isn't it? It's got to be Chalobah, Silva, and Koulibaly at the back three straight up. They've been our best back three for a while now.
Yeah.
We've got 4
Chilwell,
5 games
for me.
now. Yeah, Chilwell plays. The issue you have is the right wing back. But for me, just put Aspie there, even if he's not. Even I don't like him there. It's better than sacrificing Ruben there, because I think Ruben's been quite one of our most consistent midfielders the last couple of games in the way he's played. I'd play Ruben in the middle. You know what I mean? Like you look at Kovacic, he's been in and out of form. He's not really been up for it.
This is the thing, right? Would you not prefer? See, I know Sterling's not great as a wing back, right? No, but he can do a job, and Potter did that with Brighton, didn't he? He would play. Is it that Trossard? You'd play him like a wing back player.
Yeah, direct though.
He's actually a front liner, but it's just to pack the midfield, protect the midfielders, and then when you're in defensive phase, you're there. You block channels, but when you're in attacking phases, he can really push up, and he's got end product. I think with Sterling, if you put him on the left side, it can work because he's naturally better on the left. But it seems that we need someone on the right, so it might have to be Sterling on the right. Do you know what I mean?
I get it, but he was so bad at Villa. I'm sorry, he really struggled. And the reason I say that was his chemistry between him and Chalobah. There was none. At least there was one. If you do it with him and Chilwell, then you've got that. That they've got some sort of understanding there. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, it might just be a bit more fluid and actually look better and work for us. Maybe, but I would probably place. I'd probably play the 3-4 that he has done, the 3-4-3. But
what about Gallagher? Why can't you play Gallagher there?
Apparently he was sick, wasn't he, yesterday? So I don't know if he's going to be. He come off sick. But
this is my thought process, right?
What about Zakaria? Who's this guy? Like we're going to get.
I don't know about him, but he's clearly not ready. But if you put Gallagher on the right, he's got the work rate. He's good around the box or on the right. He can link up, and he's strong, and he can block the channels,
and he can cross,
and he can cross. Whereas Ruben, and I think he might be a bit quicker than Ruben releasing the ball. But the beauty with Ruben is where he's better to Gallagher is that Ruben's got the technical touch to be in those areas, to shrug off players, to be strong. Has Gallagher got that in him?
No, but I don't think that when you look at Ruben's performances this season, I don't think you play him as a wing back. I think his best performances, and it shocked me because I don't think he's a 6, but he's been the Villa game. He was very good in the midfield. He had a good game. Like, he's been our most, for me, he's been one of our most consistent in that. Why Graham Potter keeps picking him and playing him is because he's been the most, well, for me, in terms of performance, he's showing a bit more consistency in that position. And I think you have him in there with, it's going to have to be Jorginho, isn't it? Someone that's going to sit, because if you have Kovacic there, you're going to have two players that are going to want to keep balling forward, unless you ask Ruben to sit deeper of the two. It's going to end up being Jorginho. And then you play, and you could maybe risk the Conor Gallagher thing, could be a good shout, maybe, if he is fit, because he's got the energy like Mount up and down the pitch. It will give you that. If you don't do that, then you're going to go back to Azpilicueta, and we know that he can't cross. Can't take a player.
No, but what I think Asby gives you is that defensive thing. Is they're going to come with you at pace, though. This is a problem.
Yeah, but then you just use Asby,
Anthony, Rashford.
Yeah. Rashford will be up front. Anthony's playing off the right. Sancho's been playing off the left, and I think Chalobah, to be honest, Asby and Chalobah can deal with him. I'm not worried too much about him. I think Silva would do a Rashford, as he's just Silva, and I think Koulibaly
for me.
What worries me more than anything is just Koulibaly with Anthony, because Anthony likes to cut in on his left, So yeah, it's always the midfield for me. That I just can't really work out, because none of them are consistent, and I'd play Ruben as one of them, to be honest. But in that position, and then whoever else goes with him, fine. Just flick a coin.
I think you play Cover and Ruben.
Maybe, but then you haven't got a sitter. So mate, unless you tell Ruben to sit, which he can do and he has been doing, maybe you just do that then, and let Cover just concentrate on being more effective, breaking the lines with his space. But then your front three, for me, has to be Mount, Sterling, and Aubameyang. That will be your three up front.
Yeah,
has to be.
I think so. Let me read. Minchy boy, big up to you, Geezer, for Soup Minerals. Big up, Jim. You're on my playlist. It's a short list.
Big up, Minchy boy. Thank you.
He knows it's a short list. Yeah. There's too many agendas, bruv. This is the problem, mate. There's way too many agendas out there. And it's like, it's just toxic, mate. It's just continuously toxic.
It's a lot of people that have the voices, isn't it? That's why I don't watch any of them. I have no interest in them. I do my thing and I watch you, and I watch a bit of Lewis sometimes. Other than that, I don't have no interest in any of the other guys, because I know that they will just wind me up. That's why I don't watch it. I've got a life outside of this anyway. Do you know what I mean? So this
is the problem. They're very good to spew all that diarrhea. Do you know what I mean?
I can't watch any of the Rory's or the
pumping it out.
I don't mind Eunice; he's all right, but the other, I don't watch him. But the others, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
It's all narratives, isn't it? It
is, but they're very quick to jump on it. What they do very well, and I've noticed it, is that it's not a good thing what they do, but when they see the social lines or the social media lines switch on an individual, they're very quick to lead the line and jump on it. And I don't agree with that all the time. It's not the way, especially when you've got a voice. You shouldn't really be doing that unless it's deserved, i.e. the Lukaku situation and what he did. That I get. Everyone should be aside. We should all be on side when these things happen. But very quick to just turn, aren't they? A lot of people on, and I think Nini does it
like
as
they did on Tuchel.
Yeah, they do. They all do it. That's why I don't get involved with them. I don't care about them. They just do. They do them. I do me. That's it. I mean,
they're all full.
You should do the same, Johnny, mate. Instead of calling them out, mate, it's better. You might it might be better for your health as well if you don't have to keep moaning about.
Well, I had to call them out. I have to call them out because no one does it.
It's true. I don't. I stay away from
get away with it.
Yeah, I can't be asked. I just ignore it, to be honest. But yeah, fair enough.
They get exposed, mate. They expose what they really are.
You just expose them on a weekly. As soon as you see something, you love it, didn't you? It's funny. It cracks me up. I love it. Bring up that Prime Minister picture. I need to see that again, man. I love that fucking.
I was going to say that's exactly my duty for Chels is to be the Prime Minerals, bruv. Yeah. That is my duty, bruv.
You need to put number 19 on the door.
Oh, the 19 down in street.
That's fucking beautiful. I love that.
My geezer Leo made that.
Why you got the Stony on your suit? Oh my goodness. I've never seen
Did you not see the Stoney, bro?
I did see it now. The Stoney, yeah. You
You
look so serious as well. You look like a security guard, not the PM. Yeah, you look like you're protecting Mason Mount's door or something. Number 9.
Listen, let's have it right, bro. Let's have it right. It's 90
Bloody-
Downing Street. Big up.
bloody-
We land the
is
middles
fucking funny.
everywhere we go.
That is
Everywhere we
beautiful.
go.
That made me cry. That did when I saw that. I really did.
Yeah, mate. This is what it's all about, bro. It's all about that. It's all about that.
Are you going to United on Saturday? Yeah.
I should be, yeah, hopefully.
I'll be there.
All good.
I'll be there.
You going, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those games everyone I've been to has just been shit.
Yeah, I don't look forward to Man United.
I hate it.
It's not that they have one on us. It's just that
No, we make our mistakes.
We make mistakes, but they get the refereeing decisions as well, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But it's not Taylor, is it? I heard it's Taylor.
It was Taylor. They changed it to. Is it? Let's have a look. Man United referee. Man Chelsea. Man vs. Referee.
Prime Minerals. Let's have it right.
Stuart Atwell is the referee for this one. Stuart Atwell. So yeah, that's all right. He's not too bad. He can be a knob as well, but yeah,
Take a bullet, bruv. Take a bullet.
What's that out of? You like the guy out of what's it called? Gerard Butler out of them films. What's it called? You know the trilogy that he did. Oh my god, what's it called? What is it called, guys?
Oh, Jason Bourne.
No. Remember Gerard Butler done them?
Jason Bourne.
He done them 3 films, them trilogies where he's a security guard who protects the American president. What's he called? People will know. Someone will know the name of it. Someone will say it. London has fallen. London has fallen. Angel has
London has fallen. Yeah. Listen, guys, where's the likes at, bruv? I should be on 200-300 likes, bruv, for this content. Where's the likes, bruv? Land the minerals and like and subscribe, people. Subscribe to James' channel as well, G&A TV, and get me to the 4K. Get me to the 4K, guys. Olympus has fallen. Olympus has fallen.
Suck on that as well. Suck.
Yeah, suck on the Havertz. Suck on generational goat, bruv. Yeah.
King.
Let's have it right. King Kai, bruv. He won the Champions League, Club World Cup.
That's what I'll say to you guys. There you go. Kai Havertz, Super Blue, and Germany. Look, here you go, guys. Everyone, all the haters that are in the chat. Back your player, man. Back your player. King fucking Kai.
Silky German, mate. Silky German. He's got all the minerals, bruv. Let's have it right. Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
To be honest, he should have never shushed the crowd, to be honest. He shouldn't have done that when he scored.
Oh, I loved it.
He should have done that.
I loved
but if you're going to do that, then you need to back it up a bit, and kick on. But he didn't, did he? That's the only thing.
And we need to get, anyone thinking this geezer's coming back. He ain't coming back.
Apparently, he's going to return because Inter Milan can't even get him in the team because all he's doing is eating. That's all he's doing. And sitting on Instagram and talking about his life and how great it is rather than playing football at the moment. I don't get how people back him over Havertz. I still can't get that out of my head. I can't. Rory.
This one's my favourite. One of my favourites.
No, my favourite. I don't know if you've still got it there. My favourite is the one with the cement truck, and there's like 4. There's Lukaku. There's about 5 people in there, and there's you standing there, and there's Mason Mount driving the lorry or something. Do you know what is?
Oh, this one.
Yeah, This one. There's another one. No, it's this one, isn't it? That's where there's another one as well. I think
that's the one with me in front of the Minerals FC coach. Yeah. But
that's fucking funny.
There's that one.
That one.
Look how big Kante is. He's a giant, bruv, in the midfield. You know what I mean?
Why is Michael Jackson?
No, because basically there's a story to that. So when I was doing the Twitter Spaces, I was taking the piss out of Rock Nation because that was who Lukaku's management was, and I said they ain't got shit on Michael Jackson, and I started singing the Earth song, and that was one of the clips, in the Earth song. So I think Chloe made that one. Yeah, big up to Chloe, man. That was quality, bro.
Do you remember when we first started doing them in that chat, and there was like all pictures of being done of Lukaku being cemented?
Yeah. Well, that was the first. In fact, Leo is the first one. I I'm pretty sure it was Leo and Wheezy.
Wheezy and
Leo
Leo,
was
yeah.
the first one who's made this one. Yeah, he made the first ever cement one where
Is it
you got Mount cementing with, I think it was Lukaku's head in
is
the
it with
cement
the
or whatever.
sign? Yeah, with the wheel.
Yeah, the
Cement
actual
wheel,
cement mixer.
mixer.
And
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
yeah, he put it in, and it's just epic, mate. Absolutely epic. And
Jay,
this is
why
for
did
Cursor.
you go on?
Cursor said this is Graham Potter, bruv, when he's winning, bruv.
Yeah, love that. It actually looks like him now with that haircut. Fucking hell, that's
He's had a trim in it. And where's the so-called generational ballers, yeah, against Liverpool, the team that they need to turn up, and they don't even turn up, bruv. It's like
like all the
Haaland goes, "Oh,
Haaland.
I'd love a kebab. I can't eat kebabs." You've had plenty of kebabs before the Liverpool game, clearly, bruv.
Can you, Jake? I need to ask Jake Hamilton. He keeps calling me. I know he's doing it. Gem Lion Lukaku is not playing because he's injured. Why is he injured, mate? He's even kicked ball this season. All I've seen is this guy taking pictures on Instagram of himself with food and sitting around.
No, he
I'm
done
watching.
that underwear ad, didn't he?
I don't know how. Well, they must have put a fake 6-pack on him because there's no way he looks like. They were moaning about him.
Yeah.
They were moaning about him being overweight. How comes he's now got a 6-pack in Calvin Klein thing? What's going on here? Jesus.
Yeah,
And
he was what's it called? I think they just photoshopped it and took,
like they Photoshop your abs and it makes you look ripped and that. They must have done that, yeah. Anyway, he's still a Chelsea player.
See, when Mount scored, I smiled and thought of Johnny and the mudding to follow when he scored the second. Yeah, I mean the San Siro one.
Did you not hear me in the Villa video? Because I went to Fato, I was sitting next to him. I went, mate, let's video this because if he scores this is going to be heroic. And he just banged that free kick, and I didn't expect it. It caught me off guard. I was like,
all you hear is Fato going, "Oh shit! Oh shit!"
Minerals.
That was limbs, mate. Absolute limbs. Listen, he balled out in that game. He balled out in the San Siro. Man of match 45 minutes. 45 minutes to win.
I was there at Milan. I was there as well. I was there. It was
unbelievable.
Unbelievable atmosphere, but a shit stadium. I tell you, awful in terms of the way they look after us out there. The Italians, they treat you like shit. Horrible. But
fall into bits, isn't it?
It is. You piss in a hole in the toilet. You go in the toilet, it's just a hole on the floor. They make you piss in a hole.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I saw that. You just have to open your legs to the ladies, innit?
Yeah, and you can't drink because there's only one bar at it with 5,000 people trying to get drinks, and it's just you end up fucking dehydrating and needing to piss at the same time. It's fucking horrible, mate. And on top of that, you leave the stadium and they've got no transport or nothing. You walk for an hour to get back. So bad.
Yeah. It's
not. Really
I saw the walk up there. It was ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
My legs were fucked by the time I got there.
Yeah.
Great day. It was great though, mate. I tell you, them Chelsea fans, what an atmosphere! They really made something there. They really did. They were singing their hearts off. We did, and that is a big. Their fan base is known for being one of the best as well. We were shutting them up. You know that with our 5,000. You know that it was amazing. It was really good. Now all he's got to do now, Bowley, is rip that contract. You know that he needs to. You can't let him back in the team.
Let's not forget about Kai Havertz, bruv. You know what I mean? What a player, bruv. He's a player, man. He's a baller, man. He's a baller, man.
He does need to kick on. We can't sit here and say he doesn't. He does need to move forward. He does need to be more consistent. That's what he does need to be. But, it's only him that can change it.
Fuck it.
Oh, Jesus. John.
Oh, John's killing it, bro. Oh, man. You lot are crazy. Oh, well, let's see what Chelsea dances. I agree. There's props 50-50 Kai Havertz fans as I back Kai all day, bro. But does that call me a hater on Kai, even though I ain't when I'm on Carefree? I back him up all the time, bro.
No,
I mean,
you can be in the middle. I don't get what this is the problem with the fan base, and especially Mason Mount agenda, the Mason Mount agendas, because You have one correct side of the scale that look at him as like God, and let's be serious. Like obviously you love him, yeah. And the other side of it, you've got people that think when he's in a team lineup, I see comments saying, "Oh my God, Mason Mount's in the lineup." Where's the middle ground? Like why is there no middle ground in the way we see things with our players? It's always you either hate him or you love him. And when you criticize him, you hate him. When you talk about him being good, you love him. You know, like it's I find it very weird, the fan base, to be honest. Like
I just think like Kai, like if Kai never scored Champions League, didn't do anything, you know, didn't deliver any trophies, then I could understand people acting the way they are. But
let's say he's had no good games. If that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah,
when they say he's had
fantastic.
no good games, I find it very funny. And and Lewis does it. Lewis does it. He's leading it at the moment as well, which is annoying. Like it's not true. He has had good games. You know, he's had patches of good games. He's just not been consistent in the long run with that. But none of them have. So name me a player for the last 3 seasons since Eden Hazard left Chelsea. What one of our forwards has been consistent since Eden Hazard left?
No, that's it.
Even he's had a little bit of dip of form.
Not really.
Bit. Well, this season
really.
he has a little bit. He has at the beginning. He has
5 games.
Yeah, but that's fine. But he still had a little.
But Eden Hazard went 356 days having bad form.
That's fine. That's what I'm saying. But that's fine. But what I'm saying is, what player hasn't been? You know, what player has been consistent thoroughly throughout all his career? Maybe Mason Mount when you look at him for the first 2 years. Yeah, but other than him, what other forwards done?
He's by far the most consistent. That's why he plays game. That's why he plays all the games, because you know you're getting whatever the gaffer's getting at the minimum. He's getting higher than any of the other players. Yeah, it's what you do. It's when you're world class, mate. You just play every game because you know that anything can happen. That's why Shot Potter took him on off yesterday, because when you got a player like man, he can make something happen very quickly out of nothing. And he took him off because of Man United. It's like, oh mate, you know, you can criticise, but the hate is on where Lewis goes nuclear on anyone who has a bad spell. Look at what he said about Mount. It was really, anyone calling that Mount hold his contract and he's got to be benched. Bench for who? Ziyech, Pulisic, who wanted to leave at that time. It was a transfer window. Who are you going to drop him for?
There's not much options, is there? But criticism is
no
valid.
Options.
Yeah, people are allowed to criticize. I agree with criticism. People can not be happy with a performance of a game of a player. Fine, I back that, because they deserve criticism in per game on a per game basis. Yes, we can talk about that. But when you're slandering them every game and then even point at them when it ain't even nothing to do with them and saying it's their fault, and you're sitting there thinking they watched the whole game. Like there's other players on the pitch here. Like that's where it gets a problem for me.
And this is what's the difference between Lukaku and Pac-Man? Fuck all. They both love eating. Let's have it right. You're not wrong, geezer. You're not actually wrong. You know, facts spoken there. Minerals landed. My chat, honestly, they got the minerals, mate. They know. They know
got exactly a couple of Kai haters in it, haven't you? There's quite a lot of Kai haters in there.
Yeah, but let them hate, bruv. They listen. You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? But if your opinion is just pure venom, then nah, mate, it don't work like that.
I'm always up for listening to the other side of things. I always say that if someone's not happy with someone and they've got good, valid opinions, share it. But when you sit there going, he's shit, but you don't sit there and back it with anything, I ain't got time. Sit here, have a conversation and explain why you feel this is the situation. That's the only thing I don't like. It's the other thing why I stay away from Twitter too much, because it happens on Twitter a lot as well, and spaces and that. I don't do spaces no more because it's the same thing.
I did one the other day, actually. It was brilliant. It was really good, actually. I did one. I recorded it as well. It's quality. Minerals are landed, mate, as always.
I think Fator sent me a video of it, saying you had a couple of
Simon Phillips was in there. They were listening and all that, and there's loads of people, like loads of good people listening. I mean, I tweeted this today, and everyone's doing their nut about it. But I said the gaffer needs to find a way to get the Germany Kai Havertz for Chels. He's a generational talent, clutch on the big stage, as the minerals. So this is what the gaffer gets paid for. Or we get another Kevin De Bruyne story. You know, I back this kid who's delivered the big trophies. That's what I put, you know.
There's nothing
because
wrong with you backing. No, this is what I'm saying. People get the ump with you because you back your player, and I don't get that. We all support the same team. If Kai Havertz does well for Chelsea, that means Chelsea are doing well. Like, do we not want the team to do well? Or I don't get it. You know, it's very weird.
he's won
It's
the
very weird.
Champions League. He scored the Champions League goal to win it, which is like the hardest competition to win. Club European trophy to win, isn't it? It's so hard to win that, you know, unless you're Real Madrid and you throw brown envelopes. But no, it's like, oh, it's all forgotten. Fuck it, it's an open goal he scored. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No one knew we were going to win against City that game, except me.
Yeah, he did a very good
But,
game. The game as well. He did.
you
He
know,
was very.
he
Good.
was fantastic. So was
Him,
Werner. Apparently, we don't rate Werner's runs. We don't rate the fact that Werner ran in that direction.
But them little
thing.
intricate things are so important in the game that people don't
Fine
notice.
details.
All people want to know is assists and goals. That's it. This doesn't matter how football's played or how systems work or how structure works or profile of a player that makes it better. It's just about you have to do this. That's it. They don't think about how you got to do that. How does that
What
work?
I don't understand. What I don't understand is why do we not play the ball quickly?
Because we've got players. I'll tell you why. I was at Villa actually. It's good you brought that up actually, right? I was getting really frustrated with Ben Chilwell that game because every time we tried to move forward quickly, he decided to take 7 touches and go backwards. And I started watching other players across the pitch, and I was thinking to myself, and from what I've seen up to this point, I was thinking to myself, why do they do that? Why are they? And I keep watching it now. I think that they're scared to take risks on the ball because our forward line does make runs behind the defence, but they never receive it. Majority of the times they don't receive it. And eventually after a while, when you don't play that ball, what does it do for a forward? It makes them go, well, I'm going to make that run.
Kills them. Kills them.
It kills them. It kills their mood. Exactly. And I've seen it in Sterling's attitude. I've seen it partly in Aubameyang's. I've definitely seen it in Kai Havertz for the last 2 seasons with the way he moves, right?
Hold that right there.
Right. Yeah.
That, what you've just said, all right, is the reason why Mount didn't get any GA and couldn't get any games in the first part of the season because we were too slow. And when Potter came into charge, he made us play it quicker and he dropped Mason to that 8-10 and look what the rewards were. They're the differences. They're the fine margins. Now, we're not doing that in the last 2 games, Villa and Brentford. And why is that? Because of the personnel, bruv.
It's the personnel, but that's what I've been telling people. I've been saying the same. It is the personnel because the personnel that are playing in this system are always very comfortable in playing the easy ball. They don't have the vision to look up and just play it quickly. Cucurella does, actually. He's someone that actually does do that. Ben Chilwell does do it on the odd occasion, but he didn't against Villa. He's inconsistent in doing it.
No, but Ben Chilwell...
Reece James does it very... If you watch Reece James and what he does, right? If he can't get up the pitch and be effective, he comes deep. But when he's deep, what does he always do? He looks forward. And what does he always do when he looks forward? He plays it. He plays it direct. He always looks for runs.
I think Chilwell did do that before he got injured. When he was fit, like, if you look at him, remember that goal when he came on against West Ham, and without him we wouldn't have won that game. Yeah, he came on. He was direct. He wanted to make something happen in the final third. He obviously got the goal in that position, and he got the assist through Mount's dummy to Kai, and then Kai smashed it in and scored the winning goal 2-1. And we were 1-0 down with they had 10 men in it. They had 10 men, low block. It's my thing. Chilwell will come good, and Chilwell's got. I think he's better going forward than Cucurella, but I think Cucurella is better at defending in a way.
I think he's more progressive. He'll take risks.
He's more progressive with passing. I think Chilwell's got the end product.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We do. We do.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I think it's Jorginho.
Yeah, and
it's always been the problem.
It's always been that.
And I don't mean a dig at Georgie, but when he's got the ball,
he looks left and right. He always does, and
he's too slow, and sometimes with cover as well.
Yeah, but have you noticed something that they do together, and it really winds me up, right? We'll get the ball,
little passes like that.
They do this sidewall. This sidewall pass.
Do you know what that is?
and they do
They're
it
trying
so
to break
many
the
times.
lines.
Yeah, so Kovacic will get the ball, and his body's on the side. He's horizontal, so he's looking across the pitch. Yeah, not that way. He's looking. He will, instead of turning his body to look forward, he will just do a side pass to Jorginho, who then he will run past, do a 2-yard run pass, and then receive the ball from again, and then pass it back to him. And it's like, and what they don't realise is by doing that, everyone that's gone like that in front of them and pushed up the pitch is now stopping or trying to get back on side, having to drop because the opposition are keeping us high up the pitch. It slows us down. They need to stop doing these little sideward things. I don't know why they do that. This little sideward pass. We go on a break and they go, oh, let's do a sideward pass to each other rather than actually look forward and play the ball more consistently. They do that too much. And that's why I say the midfield is a problem in this system. In what we're trying to do, the midfield is still a problem. Declan Rice ain't doing that. If he gets that ball, I'm pretty sure he's driving forward with that ball, yeah? And he's trying to find whoever it is that's making the run over the top. I saw him do it against Liverpool, and I'm not his biggest fan, but I saw him against Liverpool pick the ball up from deep, drive past Fabinho, Antonio makes the run, bang, yeah, and he gets it to Antonio. And he done it again and again and again. And it wasn't just that he done it once and then he done a Jorginho and this does cyber passes. He done it consistently. He was looking forward every time he had the opportunity to drive into space because he can run with it and play it quickly. That's the difference, little things.
Rice has got the ability, when you compare him to all the other midfielders, to play that ball over the top to cut someone's entire press or pack in the midfield. And he's got a long range pass on him. Jorginho ain't got it. Cover hasn't really got it. All right. That's why they have to play short pass all the time. But when you're in the middle of the park and you play a short passes, what does that allow the opposition? It allows them to get into their positions, defensive phase. Yeah. And then by the time they get into a pocket, they've broken one phase, there's nowhere to pass it. So you have to go back.
And then our forwards end up coming deep, and then they get frustrated because they pick the ball up deep, and then they get shut down, they lose the ball, and everyone goes, "It's shit, get him off, he ain't doing nothing." And that's what happens. That's why I'm saying
the attackers. It's the transitional phases are too slow. And once we get the transitional phases at the right time, and I think Potter is a pretty mastermind at doing that with possession football.
He will. We'll get there.
We will.
He won't
see, with Tuchel, Tuchel did it more with a sort of like a counter-attacking approach. I think the transitional change, whereas I think Potter does it with a possession-based approach.
Yeah, but I think with Potter, I think he wants to be more direct, and I keep saying I think when you look at the way that we've been playing under him, and I know it's early doors, I think the message is always to look forward and try and break the lines and move the ball quicker. I just again feel like that what hinders it and holds it back, and he probably knows in himself a little bit as well, is what he has at his disposal. So it's balancing for Potter. It's balancing and trying to bring out the best of what he currently has at the moment and working that out. But the issue you have with that is bringing the best out of Mason Mount and Kovacic or Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Trying to bring out the best out of Sterling doesn't work because it then hinders him because he's too focused on trying to find something that suits them. And that's not the way managers need to work. They need to be able to work to their system with players that can understand what's required from what they want and do it consistently. And we can't do that because we're missing too many intricate players, I think, in midfield and in the forward line that can be more creative. And we're going to have the same problem all season. Until then, that's the way it's going to be.
This is Chelsea, our boys, my geezer. Once we fix our midfield with Rice, Jude, Bellingham, back up, right wing back, creative wingers, and forward, also stadium, we are cooking nice and slowly with Bowley, Clearlake. Look at the bigger picture up the Chelsea fans. Yeah, facts. I mean, I don't. You know the deal, Chelsea old boys. We know what process we're in. I think it's the fan base. They're so fickle. They're so reactionary that they don't understand that there's a big process, not only on the pitch but behind the scenes. We've got what's his name, technical director, recruitment director. We've got
we bought a couple.
The guy, Shields.
We've
got Shields. Yeah, from Man City, whatever, recruitment. We're building. We need to get a director of football, whether that's Edwards or whoever it's going to be, and get that structure in.
That's my thing. It does deserve time, and Potter deserves time because no manager has been given that, Johnny. None of them that's ever been under the Rowan era have been given time. They have to win, or if they don't win, they find the hook. That's it. That's changed now. I think that will change, but we do need to be patient. Johnny Reels, big up, bro.
Chelsea, Dan.
Yeah. Big up, man.
Big up, geezer.
We'll see. Man United in the weekend. So this point could be very good if we beat Man United on Saturday. That's the way I see it. So up the fucking Chelsea and let's just get this win, man. Stop moaning about players on blimmin' timelines, man. Let's just get behind them and just try and get this win.
Chelsea Elbow says we're also buying the land behind the West Stand. You know, so
that's to
I think they're looking to redevelop where we are at the bridge and not actually relocate, which is what I don't want to relocate. You know, it takes away all the. It's like what Arsenal done, Spurs. You know, it takes away the heritage. You know,
from what I've been told, apparently the plan is to do it stand by stand basis, so we'll have less attendance and it may be harder to get to games, but they're going to try and still allow us to play at the bridge while they're working on a per stand basis.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I think it's the right. It's a bit of a ball ache, and it affects us in sense of the allocation. The allocation to what's it called? United, say away supporters might be very limited. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it will be. It is what it is, but I think it's the best thing to do, and they're working it on a 5-year project or whatever it is. They're going to also get rid of the hotel behind the stadium as well, because I think they're going to try and they're going to extend out, but they're going to go up. I think they're going to try and do what AC Milan done, but also what the new camp's got, where you're kind of like over the top of the pitch, so you go like that rather than you go out.
Yeah,
which is what I think they're going to try and do. But,
yeah.
Big up, Steve.
Big up, Steve. What are you saying?
Wow! I got home and I thought, been on the road all day, had lots of meetings, and I looked up and I thought, my God, there's 2 superstars on there of Chelsea, Jem and Johnny. I thought, go on. Anyway, so I thought, come and say hello. How are you guys?
We're right. We're just out here trying to defend Kai Havertz and other people at the moment.
Yeah.
You know,
I heard some of the conversation. I thought, you know what? I'm going to come on, but I'm not going to get too deep with that sort of stuff, you know. But lots of opinions and stuff, and I think that's what it is. It's a world and a game of opinions, and we're all like, in our eyes, we have these things that we see. I'm normally in the middle.
That's the best thing to do. I always try and be in the middle. It's the best way.
Yeah. So all good. So how are you guys? Yeah, the game last night was frustrating, wasn't it, Johnny? It was a bit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a lot to say. Sunday was great. Jem, when I grabbed a bang on his shoulder, you went, you know, it was me, Sunday, don't you?
Yeah. Of course I did. Yeah.
So what's going on? How's everybody tonight? How's everything? And what's the chat? I know it was about Kai Havertz, which I know Johnny, you're a support of him. I'm kind of he's got to show up soon. He's done some great things. He's got the talent, but he needs to show up.
I agree.
Where you stand in that chat, but my opinion is that Chelsea Football Club is such a big club now that you are allowed opportunities and stuff. Like Mason Mount stood on, he's come forward, he's fantastic with Reece James. I think Kai Havertz needs to crack on. He needs to do something soon. How long do we wait for him to show his potential that he's got? We know he's got the potential, but as I say, I'm kind of so that's my stand coming into the conversation.
But don't you believe there's a player in there, Steve? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, I do, Johnny. But
yeah,
you know, like in life, as individuals, you get so many opportunities, and you know, where do you draw the line? Where he's a fantastic player, but you know, we all know about the Champions League goals, well documented. He's had some great finish. Had a great finish. What was that finish against at home? It leaves me.
Newcastle. Yeah. The over the top. Boom, boom.
So do you know what I mean? So to be fair, where do we draw the line? When does he have to show this potential that we know he has?
He has to,
which has on occasions.
But is it? But the thing is, it's the team. It's the team, Steve. I think the way we play him doesn't allow that. It hinders it. And this is my point I'm making is Potter going to tweak it or speak with him to find out? Because Tuchel says, where's Kai's, what is Kai Havertz, and he goes, well, I see him as a Berbatov. I see him as a Bergkamp type player.
I think
those players are not like your number 9s. They're more like number 10s. I seem like a Muller, that's the I think. Player. But the problem we have is we've got Mason Mount, who we know is always going to play, and he's the baller, yeah. But he needs to find a way to get both of them to play in those positions.
But he can. That's the thing that stresses me, is he can play them both.
I know he can. He can do it. He did it with Gallagher against Wolves, and it worked.
You're not going to get the best out of Kai Havertz if you do not play him in that 10 role consistently. That's it. And then all that it's down to at that point, Steve, is him as the player mentally to get over it and get into form. Because at the moment, I don't think it's the ability thing that's the problem with Kai Havertz. I think he's got a mental block at the moment. I watched him the other day, and even with his touches, he's usually good with his balance and his touch and whatever. He's making the wrong decisions, and something you can just tell by looking at him. Something's hindering him at the moment. So whether Graham Potter,
these young kids,
maybe, but Graham Potter needs to sit down with him, and try and.
It's what the lives they lead and the opportunities they have. Unfortunately, football's a game of results. So. As I said, how long is it before? Excuse me.
It's limited time when you're at Chelsea, and I think when you look at Chelsea as a club, it's probably more worse than other clubs across the Premier League in terms of how much time you get and how quick you have to get going. Especially with our fan base, how reactionary our fan base is when it comes to when things ain't working out. So he's got this season to make it work. If he doesn't make it work, I promise you now, he will want to go. It won't be a case of Chelsea getting rid of him. I think he will want to go if he doesn't find this form. He will probably want to leave, I think.
Well, Mason Mount had a dip, but it was a dip, and now he's back shining like a star. That's what we expect at Chelsea. Have a dip. It's not a problem. We're all humans. They're footballers. They can't be rising like to the top all the time. And look, he came back out and he was fantastic. He's been fantastic. But Havertz just, when he hit that goal, I thought, come on, he's going to crack on from here now. A few weeks ago.
But then he got taken out of the team, didn't he?
And then he got asked to play on the wing, and I don't know why he played on the wing as well.
Go on, Johnny.
Well, no, I think it was West Ham was under Tuchel, right? And then he scored. What goal was it? The Wolves game. He scored under Potter.
Wolves,
he scored the first goal, which was a big goal for us, actually. Scored that first goal, and then we kicked on. After that, he didn't play him.
He played him as a winger.
You know what? The only people that know is Potter and the player. Because we're looking on the outside. We cannot imagine the pressure cooker and the complex systems of play. Do you know what I mean? It must be really difficult because we've got our opinions, but who knows exactly how it all stacks up,
What's the take on Potter so far?
I think he's been great under the circumstances and the pressure. I think he's virtually faultless considering the Tuchel thing. We were all gutted. Personally, I was really gutted. We know most of us were. I was certainly a Tuchel. Sorry, Tuchel. I was really gutted when Tuchel went. Potter's come in. I was a bit like, he's English as regards to didn't have that swagger, but he's done well, isn't he?
Well, it's funny because when you look at Thomas Tuchel,
he
hasn't. I was just saying, when you look at Thomas Tuchel's first 7 games, it's exactly the split image of Graham Potter's first 7 games. 2 draws.
Yeah, I saw that.
2 draws, 5 wins. So it's still very early, is what I'm saying, to be sitting here. But he's doing what Tuchel did. He's not doing anything different to what Tuchel did in his first 7 games, and that's good for us. It's a good thing. So it's just, is he going to kick on?
I've just got to open the door for something. Sorry, guys, 30 seconds.
I think it's a good start.
That's just down to the squad, though. The squad is got its limit, isn't it? The squad's got its limit.
We know It's a very limited squad that can only perform to
Yeah.
a certain standard throughout some games. In my opinion, it's not a consistent crop of players that are able to perform and be, do what Man City do, where they're playing crap but they still win. We play crap, we lose, we draw.
But, all right, let me ask you this, yeah. Do you think, because I think we have got a better squad, but do you think if you look at our squad, comparing it to Man United, Spurs, Arsenal, and Liverpool, who's got the best squad out of these teams?
Well,
that's a matter of opinion, isn't it? Really,
I don't think Arsenal have a squad. Yeah, I don't think
we've
Arsenal
got
have
a really well balanced squad. I mean, the massive miss that we have with Reece James out the side, Fofana's also missing, but the squad, we've got to be up there, haven't we? Don't you think? I mean, Man City are.
I think we have.
We have.
That's what I think, but I want to
We
see
have
what
numbers.
you guys think.
We
Because
have
if you
numbers.
break it,
If we're not, I think we're in the first. I don't think we've got the best squad, but we're near on that. If we reach the potential, I think we're not far from it. We're nearly there, in my opinion.
So who would you say's got better than us then, Steve? If we're not there,
Probably Man City.
Oh yeah, no, that goes without saying. Yeah. I've taken Man City out of it.
You're taking Man City out of it. Sorry.
Yeah. They're clear. They're clear.
I think.
So from after Man City, who's got the best?
I think as a balanced squad to reach the potential, I think we're probably in my opinion, obviously Chelsea fan, I think we're number 2, in my opinion. Yeah. Unless somebody tells me, breaks it down and says why, but I think we're there. Potter's just got to bring out the potential. He's a new manager. How long has he been with us? 5 weeks? How long has it been now? 6 weeks?
Yeah.
You know what? You see, I do a little bit of that thing, but I give my opinion after a game. I haven't moaned and groaned at all. We haven't dropped. Sorry, we haven't lost. Where are we sitting, guys? Is it 4th or 5th?
Yeah, 4th.
So we're all right, and he's early doors, isn't he, Potter?
It is. It's too early.
Big test on Saturday. Looking forward to the game. I think we'll know. We'll know a lot of the. We'll know what goes on Saturday against Man United, but obviously we're missing 2 important players. One massive player, which is Reece James. But big game on Saturday, guys. Big game.
I think, yeah. I mean, going back to the squad question, I think we have the numbers. I just don't know specifically about the quality in the positions, if that makes sense. But, so it's like it's good having numbers. Numbers,
I'm saying compare the players to Spurs, to City,
Arsenal.
Arsenal, Spurs, Man United.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Well, if you go through it, Arsenal haven't got a very good squad depth. If they get a couple of injuries, I think they'll drop down the table. I think when you look at their bench, you look at Liverpool's bench. Pretty much be the same. They've improved on their midfield with Carvalho and some others, but the overall squad, if they lose Salah, for example, right, they got Nunes and whatever, but I still don't think it's a strong bench. You look at Spurs' bench. I actually think Spurs have an okay squad. Yeah, I do. When you look at Spurs' squad, it's not a bad squad. I question the quality of players that they have brought in, because they don't buy them top world class players. They always get them sort of mid-table players, and Basumas and Dockett, like all these sort of type of players, So when you look at it on the balance of that, you probably sit there and say, well, look at the Chelsea squad, look at the positions and the names that we have to cover them positions. We've got to easily have on the name basis and the numbers the second best squad in the league.
Well, so we agree then. I know you're there, Johnny, aren't you? You agree?
Yeah, I called it. I said it on my video about when I was talking about Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs. I said we're getting injuries now, and you can see that we're struggling a little bit in certain areas, right? When you talk about James, or you talk about Fofana, and that lack of rotation or being flexible with players when you ain't got them all fit, right? Now, if we struggle with it, I don't mean struggle, but it affects the way you play. Like, you're at the races throughout the 90 minutes. You might make a few little miss positions, be out of place, whatever, and you just don't look as like we played against Villa. We won the game, but we didn't look convincing, right? And that's down to sometimes your squad replacement, your depth isn't quite up to the level that you've got when you've got a full squad, right? If we struggle and we know what it takes to win because we've won trophies, yeah. And you look at Arsenal and you look at Spurs, and they haven't had any of these issues yet, all right? And it's a long season with World Cup. When that comes, I don't think they will be able to get through results like Chelsea can get results. And that's why I think our squad is better than theirs, firstly. And their test hasn't come yet because we're only 10 games into the season, all right? Everyone forgets that. We've got another 28 games to play. It's a long season, a lot of games.
Season. It's a funny one with the World Cup as well, isn't it?
And the World Cup, travelling, intense. It's hard. There's going to be a lot of injuries, goes without saying. And then after that, you look at Liverpool. Now, Liverpool, I called it. I said, if Liverpool beat the City, all right, they won the 7-1 in the Champions League. They go and win against City because they've come off that back at 7-1 win. That out of all the clubs, including us, they know what it takes to go on a run. They've got that pedigree to go on that 12-game run and just win. Even though I don't think that their squad is actually that good.
I don't as well.
When they lose Salah or they've lost Mane, sold him permanently, I think they struggled. Now they lost Diaz.
Class, wasn't he?
Yes, I think Mane was their best player. And he helped Salah. But it's like Liverpool, because of the mentality of the manager, and they've won a title, they won Champions League. It's like they know, like when they're not playing well, they can just turn it, and that's a mentality thing. And I think beating City is a massive win.
Oh my God, it's massive, wasn't it?
Right, it's fucking huge because City have been on fire. Everyone said City was going to win, and they go and beat Man City 1-0, and Salah of all players, who's not been playing that great.
Yeah,
it's a big
funny with this new contract. He's dropped off a little bit, but you know.
And on top of that, Steve and Jem, they've gone and won 1-0 last night after West Ham having a penalty, and you think that's now 2 games on the trot. Hard games.
Hard games.
Yeah. You know, they go on a run. All of a sudden, from 12th place, they're back in the top 4, and it's going to be one of those seasons. So I think Liverpool, you can't write them off because they've got the pedigree of steamrolling.
Yeah. They can roll it together, can't they?
They can turn it on. Yeah. And they've had injuries, so. Yeah.
It is going to fall down to injuries, though, as well, isn't it? Really, who's going to get the injuries? If Man City lose, Man City lose Haaland, what generally happens with their goal scoring ratio? I mean, they score goals, but losing Haaland at the front, Jesus is not there no more. Who are they going to? I know Alvarez is there. I've not seen enough of the boy.
They'll play De Bruyne, false 9.
Well, yeah, is at the same level though in terms of scoring goals.
Depending on the injury, depending on the duration of the injury, City have got enough quality to get by, say, 3 games, I reckon. Depending what period it is. If it's during their Champions League campaign after World Cup, maybe not, But if it's like just before the World Cup, they lose Haaland for 3 games, I think they'll get through and they'll win the games. But if it's the second part of the season, they lose him when it's like squeaky bum time, they could drop points. And this is where Liverpool might... Because for me, Spurs and Arsenal... I actually think United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City will all be in the top 4. I don't think Arsenal and Spurs get in the top 4 this year.
Johnny, how hard is it to call it?
It is hard.
Don't you think
it's hard?
Wide open. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't bet my life on them 6 teams. I mean, who knows? I think it will start to take shape probably February or March.
Yeah, you can't. This is why when you see Arsenal,
realise a little bit.
You see Arsenal fans talking about the being in title challenge and whatever. It's a lot funny, isn't it? Because Chelsea were top of the Premier League in December last year, and look how quick that changed with all our injuries. So
I learned the mineral stat I read before I went to the game last night. I saw a video. 2 occasions. The geezer was asked a question. It was on Football Daily, I think. He was asked a question twice in succession. What team has gone on and won 9 games at the start of the season and then gone on not to win it? So the first one was Arsenal. And then they asked again the second time. It was Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then on that second time, they said, who did actually go and win the league? It was Chelsea.
Yeah. They win the league then.
It's not even that if you go by that, but what?
Yeah,
but that is quite. That's just like set in stone historically. Like that's how it goes. Yeah.
To be honest with you, we ain't got a fucking clue, have we?
No, it's up in the air. But I mean, Man City should run away with it. I think when you look at the
they're the horse. That's the horse that's out in front that's doing the business.
The thing is, if you could stay close to them, Steve, if Chelsea win, what, they'd be a point behind Man City if they win their game. Like if Chelsea can win their game now. Did Man City play in the week? They didn't, did they? It was only us. So we've played our game in hand now, haven't we? So we're on the same games as them, if I'm right in saying. I think we are.
Because Arsenal and City had their game postponed.
Yes, so what I'm saying is we're 3 points off them at the moment. We're only 3 points from Man City, who are going to win the title.
That's quality.
So, how bad are Chelsea really at the moment? We just got to stay quiet, stay out of the woods.
What if we won this game?
But you know what? Chelsea have always been in the past very good when you're not talking about them too much. Just forget. I'd rather not talk about us. Forget us. We're not there. Let us because that's where we're at bed. Always look at us historically. We're always better when people are not thinking about Chelsea. That's what I
said
think.
I said to Tony and Julius when Potter, everyone was like, "We're not going to make top 4." Everyone was crying about not making top 4, and I said, "Listen, Potter can go and win the league, and he's got at that moment in time he had 32 games to do it. Now he's got." How many games he's got? How many games we played now? 10.
11 games. So we got 20. What was it? So we got
about we played 10 again. We've played 10 games, right?
Yeah. So we've got
28 games. We've got 28 games to win the league.
Right? I played 11 games, so 27 games. Yeah.
Oh, have we played 11?
I think it's 11, isn't it? Are
you sure?
I believe so. Let's have a look.
No, we've played 10. We've played 10. Tottenham have played 11.
Oh, right. Fairs. Okay.
So this is why the game against Manchester United is a massive game. In the sense that you cannot afford to lose.
That's going to be tough because of the last 2 performances we put out there. And
I know.
The last 2 performances Man United have put out there.
Do you know Chelsea? Yeah. Chelsea, out of every Premier League team at the moment, Chelsea are in the last 5 games have the best form of any other club in the Premier League. 4 wins and 1 draw. Arsenal have lost 1 and won 4. So maybe other than us, so Chelsea are pretty much matching what Arsenal have done in the last 5 games at the moment.
The only saving grace we got, and I said this, is that we've got the World Cup for Reece James to get back for the second part of the campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's if we didn't have the World Cup, he would have missed a lot more games.
Also allows N'Golo Kante to get back as well because he's 4 months.
How bad his injury is yet? I mean, what are the facts on that? I mean,
which one, Steve? Kante or James? Or
James. Both? I mean, Kante's January, February, March, probably February, March, isn't he? No, he's done.
Knee ligament in it.
He'll be back in. Yeah, he's got a knee injury. I reckon he'll make it.
Get any game time with Chelsea by the time he gets back. I heard your stream, Johnny, when you said by the time he gets back, and they need that time to get the game time. Are we going to get much out of him this season? And you're right.
He's named in the England squad already, so that tells you something.
Oh, that was Steve. That was Kante. Kante won't be back.
Sorry, I skipped 10. Kante, I'm talking about. I think we've lost most of the season. James, I don't know. I prefer him not to go to the. I don't want him for a Chelsea fan to be pushed to play for England.
Maybe just
proper fit, fine. If he's not, obviously we're all English fans, but do you want I mean, how bad is the injury? That's my first question. Do we know?
He's got a knee ligament injury, so they can be quite serious. But apparently, it's 6 weeks. He didn't need any surgery. But then you've got to look at what happened to N'Golo Kante, because he was injured, came back. Didier Deschamps took him and ruined him.
Well,
Went
you
away
see my
and whatever
point?
he played.
We're
So
gonna- my point
it can
was we don't want him pushed back for England, even though obviously we want England to win the World Cup, and then do a Kante on him.
Jesus. Yeah, no, just laughing at saying in the comments, mate. That was a funny comment. Johnny, I've got to shoot
Did you
anyway,
see
guys.
that, Steve?
Yeah.
Check that, Steve. Yeah.
Johnny knows
Read that
balls.
one.
They can plays with balls. Guys, I'm going to shoot anyway. Yeah, thanks for having me, Johnny. As always, nice conversation.
All right,
Hopefully, we can come back and have a conversation about how good Havertz has been. It'll be the next one. So hopefully,
I hope he starts mudding them all. That's what I
let's hope.
yeah.
Let's hope. I'll see you
I
Saturday.
believe he will.
Steve, you going
Jan.
Saturday? You going Saturday,
Take
Steve?
care,
Yeah?
bud.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you Saturday.
See you soon, bud.
Take care.
Safe, Jim. Yeah, nice one, geezer. Welcome to the new Prime Minerals of 19 Downing Street.
You'd
geezer.
probably do a better job.
Yeah.
I mean, atrocious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bad.
But let's not get into politics,
Nah, sod all that.
So, what do you think Saturday, Johnny? What's your take on Saturday? Give me your opinion.
I think it's going to be very, very hard.
Yeah.
I think they've just come off a back of battering Spurs. They didn't just beat him; they battered them. But the thing is, Spurs never win there anyway, as well. So it's like you kind of expect it, but they could have got a draw, and they didn't. So with United, I've noticed we always make stupid mistakes, and we let them in the game, and we play better against United at home. And when United come to Chelsea, they don't really get luck of the draw at our ground. So really, it's a bit of a bogey one for them. It's only in recent years that they've managed to get a point. So in all fairness, I think we should beat them. But the way we're playing doesn't make me feel like that.
No, you're right.
So it could be another draw.
Well, it depends on the day, on how we play. As I said, the last two games at Villa, we were quite fortunate, weren't we? In some of the way the ball was bounced around in that box. I mean, Kepa was brilliant, as you know. But I mean, surely that Chelsea they'll rise their game on Saturday, won't they? They'll be up for that against Man United.
I think the thing is, I am optimistic. I think we can beat anyone on our day. If we turn up, we'll beat United. Same goes to them as well. But
how many weeks, Johnny, before we play Man City in that cup game? Is that before the World Cup? It is.
Yeah, it's before. Yeah, that's before. And then we've got Newcastle's the last. Arsenal at home, and then Newcastle away is the last game before the World Cup starts, and then you've got the World Cup period.
And we've got Bournemouth on Boxing Day at home.
Yeah, Bournemouth's the one back, and you've got obviously Brighton away before the World Cup as well.
Yeah.
It's tough games, mate.
Yeah.
Tough games.
Yeah.
But he's got to get... Do you not... I feel like Potter's changing it too much. I think that... I'm always wary when you change it too much. And Tuchel did that last year, and every time he did more than 5 changes, we always ended up losing. He did it against Leicester, we lost. Did it against Arsenal, we lost. And it was always that period towards this after Christmas, during the Champions League. But I feel like Potter's doing a lot of changes at the minute, and I'm a little bit...
Well, he's had to rotate the squad to a certain degree because we've been playing a game every 3 days, haven't we?
Yeah, but there's one thing rotating, but rotating 5, 6 positions, it's a lot.
Yeah.
When they're not playing consistently with each other.
Yeah.
And I felt like last night there was a lot of misplaced passes, a lot of... I don't know who's making the run or if they've made the run. He's sort of like, I'll put it in the space and hope someone reads it.
Let's hope on Saturday, we've got the later game, we're going to get behind the team. Good atmosphere at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
If we get the win, or at least get a draw, the momentum's going. It's carrying on. You know, we're still on that front foot. All right. So listen, Johnny, I wanted to come and say hi to you tonight. I've driven 8 hours. I've got a little bit of a cold. I thought, get on tonight, say hi. So up the Chels, up to the Minerals, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Let's have it right.
I'm going to bed after driving 8 to 10 hours today. Big up to you, mate. Thanks for having me on. And as I say, like and subscribe, up the Minerals. And Johnny, I'll see you on Saturday. All right, bud?
Nice one, Steve. See you later, Geezer.
See you soon, pal. See you soon.
See you later. Big up, everyone. Listen, that's been a long old stream, yeah? Blimey. What likes am I on? Hit the likes, guys. Smash the like button. Very important. Subscribe to the channel as well if you ain't subscribed. Big up to all you guys donated to the channel. Don't forget the membership scheme. Minerals FC member. Become part of the community. Helps the channel. Helps us grow. We're on the road to 4K. It wouldn't happen without you guys. And as always, you know what I'm saying, up the Chels, up the Minerals FC, goes without saying, yeah. And we'll leave you with this one because the Minerals man is number one. Let's have it right. And 19 Downing Street, let's have it right. Yeah, let's have it right. Big up to all you guys in here. At the end of the video, put your comments down below. I love to read them and I will get back to them. I've still got previous streams I've got to go back to. Also, I did a little video yesterday. I took some snippets from me going to the game and then gave my own little personal opinion fresh after the game. Go and check that out. Put your comments in there. Big up to everyone that's already viewed it. It's something I tried. I don't know if I'll do something like that again, but it's just a test of feelers, really. But big up to all you guys in here. Big up to where was that comment? Hold on. Big up to you, H Talks Chelsea, cracking the stream. So for smash the likes, people. Johnny, Pop Chelsea, big up to you. Some great comments in here, honestly. Cheers for streaming. Thanks, Mitchie. Big up to you, Geezer. Good show. Love that, guys. Love the feedback, guys. Johan, man, you know the deal. Big up Chelsea old boys. My Geezer. Proper Chelsea. Gary, Mickey. Big up to all you guys. But listen, the moral of the story is back the team, back the players. Let's back King Kai, yeah. Let's get behind him. And don't forget, I'm on Twitter as well, Minerals FC, Instagram, Minerals FC. I've done a TikTok for a laugh, Minerals_FC, I think. And obviously this platform, YouTube, we've got Twitch as well. And Chelsea old boys, if you're on Twitter, DM me, follow me, whatever. I'd love to send you a message and that, yeah. But big up to everyone. Up the Chels, up the Minerals FC. Let's go. Right, Pride of London. London is blue. Let's have it right. Up the Chels, up the Minerals FC. Let's go. FC. Kepa, you got the minerals, yeah? Love it. Got the minerals, TT.
Hey, Johnny's got the fucking minerals, mate.